Chapter 1302. Of course 30 won't let you in. Because if you come here you can control the 3000 Great Tao. 30 even stole the Book of Life and Death from here. What a vile thing. The flame was furious. What is this place? After the heavenly souls enjoyed endless happiness in the desire realm, they turned into heavenly demons and entered the color realm. After suffering in the color realm for 10,000 years, they entered the colorless realm? How many years have passed? There are countless heavenly souls. What happened here? Long Wanyu asked curiously. Didn't you see it? They all turned into this sea water. The flame pointed into the distance. Some heavenly demons died of old age and became transparent. When they entered this place they turned into water droplets and became part of the sea. This is formed by endless heavenly souls? The sea water? Long Wanyu was surprised. Earlier the energy that Senior used to attack me came from this sea? Gu Hai asked in surprise as his expression changed. You're right. I'm just a wisp of remnant will. What power do I have? I can only mobilize the soul power in this sea. Unfortunately, my remnant will is incomplete and is already extremely weak. I can't mobilize more. The flame sighed. Gu Hai was startled. This remnant will could only mobilize a small part of the power? One had to know that he had used all his strength just now. That is to say, back then, 30 was also not a match for you here? Gu Hai's expression changed slightly. No, this sea wasn't so big back then. It was just a big lake. I could mobilize all my strength back then, but it was only about the same as 30. Now, this sea of soul power has accumulated for countless years to have such power. The flame said. This sea of power, you said soul power just now? Gu Hai's expression changed. That's right. The flame looked at Gu Hai in confusion. Brother-in-law, no husband, what's wrong? Long Wanyu was puzzled. 30 wants to destroy the world and kill all living things to obtain their soul power. Soul power is this? Gu Hai pointed at the sea. It seems to be soul power too. Long Wanyu was stunned. What did you just say? 30 wants to exterminate all living beings? Bastard, what did you promise me back then? The flame was furious. Senior, the heavenly Tao reincarnation is Torch Dragon's spirit mother divine king. I heard that it contains endless power. Is this soul power? Why did the Torch Dragon want to collect such a huge amount of soul power? Drawing the souls of all living beings into this place and turning them into power? Gu Hai asked curiously. Flame looked at Gu Hai and asked in a deep voice, why? Without this place the world would have been destroyed long ago. What do you mean? Gu Hai was puzzled. The 3000 Great Tao were formed by the 3 souls of the Torch Dragon. Do you think that the 3000 Great Tao can continue indefinitely? Why did it have an endless supply of energy? Why could the heavens and earth continue to operate? Wouldn't the Great Tao weaken? Wouldn't the 6 paths of reincarnation weaken? There was nothing that would last forever, there would always be a process of weakening. However, the 3000 Great Tao, 6 Tao reincarnations, sun, moon, stars, mountains, rivers, and Great Earth didn't. After experiencing endless time, they were still tenaciously exuberant. Why is that? The flame asked. Could it be because of the soul power? Gu Hai's expression changed slightly. That's right. This sea of soul power continuously replenishes the energy of the world. The mountains, rivers, stars, the 3000 Great Tao, and the 6 paths of reincarnation are all nourished by the soul power. This is a cycle. The operation of the heavens and earth results in the endless reproduction of all living beings. The life and death of all living beings is the energy that operates the heavens and earth. Everything is a cycle and everything is a whole. Without all living beings, the heavens and earth will soon weaken and be destroyed, returning to chaos. Without the heavens and earth, all living beings have nowhere to live. Flame explained. Soul power can replenish the energy of the heavens and earth? Long Wanyu frowned. That's right. The Torch Dragon didn't go too far. Of the 3 souls of living beings, only the heavenly soul was taken. Even if the heavenly soul came, the Torch Dragon would let them enjoy the happiest 10,000 years and satisfy all their wishes. After enjoying themselves, they would forget everything about themselves and erase all karma. Only then would they enter the heaven realm and become heavenly devils. Heavenly devils are evil, but at the same time they are the most fearful. Only the fearful heavenly soul can produce the most soul power. When the fear reaches its peak after 10,000 years, it will become the purest soul power. After entering this place, the sea of soul power will continuously transmit soul power to all parts of the world. Flame explained. Only the fearful heavenly soul can produce the most soul power? If that's the case, it will definitely make all living beings fearful before the end of the world. The purpose of the Rainbow Bridge is to frighten all living beings and then destroy the world. Gu Hai's expression changed slightly as he analyzed. But there's still so much seawater here? Long Wanyu asked curiously. That's right. The soul power operates the heavens and earth, and there's still a surplus. Every year, it accumulates more and more, and that's how this sea of soul power is formed. Flame explained. Can this soul power be absorbed? Long Wanyu's expression changed. Song, this soul power is all yours. You can use it however you want. It's just that with your physique you can't absorb much. Flame shook its head. No, my husband can absorb it, but he can. His physique is very strong. Long Wanyu pointed at Gu Hai. Your husband? The Flame asked in a deep voice. Yes, give it all to him. Because 30 is going to destroy the world, only my husband can save all living beings now. Long Wanyu said anxiously. Other than Torch Dragon himself, only you can use it. How can anyone else absorb it? The soul power here is actually branded by Torch Dragon. Even 30 couldn't absorb it back then. Flame explained. Only I can? Is there no other way? Long Wanyu was depressed. Long Wanyu couldn't absorb much of this power, and she couldn't give it to her husband. Wouldn't that be a waste? Sigh, if it was in the past it might be possible. At that time there was still the Life and Death book. The Life and Death book was refined by Torch Dragon and contained all the karma of heaven and earth. However, the Life and Death book was stolen by 30. He used the karma in the Life and Death book to control heaven and earth. Flame sighed. Is this the Life and Death book you're talking about? Gu Hai flipped his hand and took out the Life and Death book. Flame exclaimed and quickly rushed over. Gu Hai did not hide it. He extended his hand and handed it to Huatua. Yes, this is it. However, all the karma of heaven and earth in it is gone? No, this is a new karma of heaven and earth. This is new? Flame exclaimed. You call the great Tao patterns in it karma of heaven and earth? Gu Hai asked curiously. It's just a different way of saying it. However, you actually deduced so much karma yourself? Flame was surprised. 3,000 great Tao patterns. There are 2,100 great Tao patterns and the patterns of the 5 paths of reincarnation. That's all. Gu Hai sighed. The reason we came to the heavenly path of reincarnation this time is to make up for it. Long Wanyu explained. Flame grabbed the Life and Death book and rubbed it for a while. In the end he sighed softly. Karma is a cycle. Everything is predestined. What did you say? Long Wanyu asked curiously. 30 removed the karma of heaven and earth in it. Originally, even I couldn't make up for it because I'm just a remnant consciousness of Torch Dragon. However, even a remnant consciousness was once a part of Torch Dragon's consciousness. I have countless memories of him. I can't rewrite the karma. However, you've already deduced most of it. I can help you make up for the remaining small portion. Flame said. Senior, can you really do it? Gu Hai was pleasantly surprised. Yes, I should be able to do it if I try my best. However, it's just a pattern. It can't be compared to the real Great Tao, Flame said. Great Tao can be filled up with soul power. As long as there are patterns, my immortal dome of the ancients can be completed. Gu Hai smiled. As he spoke, Gu Hai took out the immortal dome of the ancients. Flame glanced at it. Alright, I can help you. However, you must help Tsang in the future. She's my wife. Senior, you don't have to worry. Gu Hai nodded. Flame nodded at Gu Hai and then looked at Long Wanyu. Tsang, are you really going to give this endless soul power to him? Yes. At this moment only my husband can resist 30. Otherwise all life will die. Long Wanyu said solemnly. Since that's the case, I'll fulfill your wish. I've been tortured by Torch Dragon for so long. My remnant consciousness has already seen through everything. Since you're here, I can go in peace. I'll help you make up for the remaining karma of heaven and earth. You can use your soul power C to erase Torch Dragon's mark and pour all your soul power into his body. As for how much he can absorb, it'll depend on his luck. Flame sighed. As he spoke, Flame started burning wildly. Boom. The raging fire burned in all directions, but it couldn't hurt the two of them. The remnant consciousness couldn't be seen in the fire. Only streaks of golden light could be seen entering the Life and Death book. Then the Life and Death book was quickly filled up page by page. Lines of the Great Tao appeared on the book. Geomeridian, Array Meridian, and Space Meridian. The 3,000 lines of the Great Tao were suddenly completed. The Heavenly Path reincarnation lines also appeared on the Life and Death book. But after the Life and Death book was completed, it instantly emitted a dazzling light. However, the Torch Dragon slowly dissipated. The Torch Dragon's remnant consciousness in the flame also slowly dissipated. In the surrounding space, Only the remnant consciousness's last words were left. Song, take care. Stop 30. Protect all life. The flames dissipated into thin air. Long Wanyu had an inexplicable feeling as if she had lost something. Her eyes immediately turned red. After the life and death book was completed, it shone brightly. Gu Hai took it and sent it into the immortal dome of the ancients. Rumble. Although the immortal dome of the ancients didn't become bigger, it immediately emitted a dazzling light. Lines of the great Tao covered the Tongtian ground. The immortal dome of the ancients was finally at the initial stage of perfection. However, it still needed endless power of the heavens and earth to fill it up. The huge sea of soul power in front of him was the best way to fill it up. However, Gu Hai didn't want to repair the immortal dome of the ancients. After all, the Demon 30 was still waiting. Husband, I can feel that everything here seems to listen to my orders. Give me the life and death book and I will give you the sea of soul power. Long Wanyu said. Okay. Gu Hai nodded. After giving the life and death book to Long Wanyu activated it. Immediately, a huge amount of sea water surged towards the life and death book and then quickly wrapped around Gu Hai. Hong. The purest energy entered Gu Hai's body. Gu Hai's body started to strangely absorb this huge amount of soul power like a sponge. Gu Hai's 9 sets of souls were already strong enough. However, when this huge amount of soul power entered his body, they continued to strengthen. Among them, the 9 sets of souls slowly became more solid. In the past, they were transparent. Now they became more and more solid, becoming less and less transparent. If it were someone else, they wouldn't be able to withstand this huge amount of soul power. However, Gu Hai's body was extremely strong and he was still able to withstand it. Perhaps the amount of soul power in this sea was too great. When Long Wanyu activated 1% of the soul power into Gu Hai's body, Gu Hai's 3 sets of souls had already become extremely solid. He couldn't absorb any more. Just at this moment, Pangu's axe suddenly trembled. It was as if a huge willpower was charging into Gu Hai's body. This willpower was extremely vast. In this willpower there was a sense of compassion, invincibility, unwillingness, and hatred. When this great willpower appeared, it immediately helped Gu Hai compress the soul power that continued to enter his body. It allowed Gu Hai's body to continue absorbing. Pangu's willpower? Pangu's willpower is helping me? Gu Hai's eyes lit up. Rumble. Under Long Wanyu's control, the soul power continuously surged into Gu Hai's body. Gu Hai didn't stop at all. While absorbing the huge sea of soul power, he also swore silently in his heart. Senior Pangu, Senior Torch Dragon, I, Gu Hai, solemnly swear that I will definitely avenge you and kill 30 of my body to comfort the 2 of you. Gu Hai solemnly swore. Rumble. Under Long Wanyu's control, the soul power surged and filled Gu Hai's body. Absorb, absorb, absorb. The sea of soul power didn't dry up. Gu Hai didn't stop for a moment. Chapter 1303. The 6 Paths Immortal Dome. When Egg 3 was created by 30, he secretly added the power of literary cultivators. Naturally, he knew the 4 Daos of zither, go, calligraphy, and painting, perfectly merging them and turning them into a golden dragon. Although Gaochen, the Purple Star, Changxing, Guqin, and Mo Yike formed the giant god of literary cultivators, the Go Dao formed by Guqin and Mo Yike using the life entrapment saber was not perfect. The might of the giant god of literary cultivators was also not enough. The giant god of literary cultivators laid a ritual array to trap Egg 3. However, it only trapped him for a short while before Egg 3 shattered it. A loud sound rang out, and the giant god of literary cultivators fell to the ground. Ah! Boom! The giant god of literary cultivators blasted a huge pit in the ground amid miserable shrieks. The giant god of literary cultivators' hand shattered in the huge pit, revealing the bloodied figure of Guqin. He hugged the life entrapment saber tightly as if he had lost all strength. The giant god of literary cultivators' head shattered. Mo Yike, who was inside, fell into a pool of blood. Big brother. Lord Mo. Gu Han called out anxiously in the boundless heavenly capital. Whoosh! Gu Han immediately charged over. The entire world fell into a state of great fear. Jiangchen was pinned down by Egg 1, and Egg 3 defeated the giant god of literary cultivators in just a short while. His Holiness still had not come out of closed-door cultivation. What should they do now? The giant god of literary cultivators? Unfortunately, your Go Dao is significantly weaker. Otherwise, you could have competed with me. Now your head is shattered and an arm is broken. You are seeking your own death. The golden dragon laughed coldly. As it laughed coldly, It prepared to charge down and destroy the giant god of literary cultivators. No! Many ordinary people cried out in horror. However, at this moment, a dragon roar came from outside the boundless heavenly capital. Roar! The huge egg that Changming formed by merging all the fiends in the world, moving the dragon vein into his body, and drawing in all the spiritual energy in the world, broke the seal. The dragon roared and the entire world trembled. The power of the torch dragon's physical body was a massive force. The god cultivator dragon body that Changming formed was a huge golden dragon. The golden dragon seemed to be holding a candle in its mouth. Candle dragon? Qi suddenly narrowed his eyes. The divine cultivator golden dragon that Changming had conjured looked almost identical to the candle dragon deep underground in the past. It was just that he didn't have the 3,000 great Tao on his back. Both the torch dragon and the god elementalist golden dragon are copies of the torch dragon. Fuxi analyzed. You nodded. The god elementalist golden dragon rushed towards Egg 3 with a fearful aura. Egg 3 was about to kill giant god Wuxia, but his expression suddenly changed. He swung the brush in his hand at golden dragon. The divine cultivator golden dragon instantly tore apart the calligraphy Tao formation that came with the brush and struck Egg 3 with a tremendous force. Boom! A divine cultivator golden dragon had boundless strength, and the torch dragon's physical strength was immense. With a sudden burst of strength, Egg 3 was blasted into the sky and shot into the void. Hua! The people of the world immediately cheered. When giant god Wuxia was defeated, everyone was about to lose hope. Now there was another golden dragon? That's the dragon vein of the Dahan Celestial Empire. The Dahan generals merged with the golden dragon. So powerful. The people immediately relaxed because the divine elementalist golden dragon had suddenly charged into the void. He fought Egg 3 again. Boom boom boom. The battle between the two sides was actually evenly matched. In fact, the divine elementalist golden dragon was even stronger. His strength was boundless and unmatched. The scales of victory seemed to be tilting towards the Dahan Celestial Empire. The people looked excited. In the distance, 30 revealed a cold smile. Collecting the torch dragon's physical strength? Gathering all the demons? Recreating the torch dragon? Unfortunately, that's just a trick. Do you have a smaller torch dragon? Then I'll prepare one for you too. Boom. Another rainbow bridge pierced into the divine continent from the void. When the third rainbow bridge appeared, all the people in the world trembled. Because the appearance of each rainbow bridge represented the destruction of the world. Now another one had appeared. What should they do? In the depths of the distant void, 30 opened his mouth again. Another huge egg was spat out. Go Egg 5. 30 pointed slightly. Bang! The huge egg shot toward the 6 paths immortal dome along the rainbow bridge. Everyone saw that the huge egg quickly cracked and slowly, 100,000 feet long golden dragon crawled out of it. The golden dragon held a candle in its mouth, and from afar, it made people feel a sense of oppression. Like the divine elementalist golden dragon, it's also a smaller version of the torch dragon? Qi's expression changed. 30 is doing it according to the form of our people. He's doing it on purpose. He wants to let everyone see his strongest power being defeated so easily. He wants to make everyone despair and fear. Fuxi said with an ugly expression. Boom. Egg 5, who looked exactly like the divine elementalist golden dragon, rushed over with a ferocious roar. He should be able to reach the 6 paths immortal dome soon. But at this moment, the divine elementalist golden dragon was pinned down by Egg 3. What should they do? Who could stop Egg 5? Everyone looked at the divine elementalist. The divine elementalist, Gu Qin and Mo Yike were both severely injured and collapsed in a pool of blood. Gu Han and Ho Yi quickly treated their injuries. But the two of them no longer had the strength to fight. The divine elementalist chess skill was not something that could be filled by just anyone. This was because it required a powerful chess skill to use the life entrapment blade to control the great path of chess. The world was so big and no one could fill this gap. Unless it was Gu Hai. But Gu Hai was still in seclusion. What should they do? Everyone looked at Fuxi, hoping that Gu Hai's imperial edict was still there. Just as Fuxi was about to speak, Qi suddenly narrowed his eyes. Huh? What's that? Qi pointed at the place where the divine elementalist golden dragon had left. That place was where the torch dragon's physical power had been gathered. Without the suppression of this power, a small trace of chaos aura was born. Chaos aura? Originally, everyone was waiting for a great victory to suppress the chaos again. However, at that moment, the primal chaos began to churn. Amidst the churning, two figures seemed to emerge. A white-haired, white-robed old man was holding an extremely beautiful woman in his arms. Their eyes were full of affection, as if they had endless words of love to say. We're out. We're out of the chaotic spacetime. Yenner, we're out. The white-haired, white-robed old man said gently. Husband, with you around, it's the same everywhere. The beautiful woman in his arms smiled indifferently. WW Old Man Guanxi? Sima Changkong suddenly exclaimed. In the past, Old Man Guanxi plotted against the world, manipulated spacetime, and brought the heroes of the world back to 800,000 years ago. He plotted against the world 800,000 years ago, and killed Rokudo Shinkuin 800,000 years ago with the strong heroes of the present world. His chess skills were monstrous and he was #1 in the world. In the end he fought Gu Hai and destroyed the 6 paths. Unfortunately, Old Man Guanxi did not get what he wanted in the end, and he was buried in the chaotic spacetime with Murong Yen. Murong Yan's duplicate was deeply in love and was willing to die with him, trapped in the chaotic spacetime with him. At the last moment, Old Man Guanxi accepted everything, but it was too late. Carrying Murong Yan's duplicate, he was about to be destroyed in the chaotic spacetime. But at this moment he was not dead? The chaos reappeared and Old Man Guanxi was back. Fuxi looked at Old Man Guanxi in the distance and was immediately overjoyed. This was because the great god of literary arts had been defeated repeatedly because his chess skills had weakened. Chess skills? In the current world, only Old Man Guanxi could compete with Gu Hai in chess skills. And now he was back. Old Man Guanxi came out of the chaos and flew toward the infinite celestial capital with Murong Yen in his arms. Old Man Guanxi, you came out of the chaos at the right time. Now all life in the world needs your help. Fuxi exclaimed in surprise. Old Man Guanxi placed Murong Yen at the entrance of the soaring palace. He looked at the vast sea of fortune in front of him. Gu Hai? He really unified the world. Old Man Guanxi sighed and looked around. Old Man Guanxi. Fuxi exclaimed again. Old Man Guanxi looked at Fuxi and smiled. You have Hichu and I have the Book of Luo. Although I am in the chaos, I know everything in the world. Fuxi's eyes lit up. Fuxi could predict the future and his divination skills were unrivaled. Old Man Guanxi's chess skills were at the peak, and he had never failed in his plans. His divination skills were not inferior to Fuxi's. In the past, Gu Hai's chess skills were also taught by Old Man Guanxi. With the Book of Luo he knew everything in the world. Old Man Guanxi, the world is in danger. Please help. Fuxi solemnly said. Old Man Guanxi, please help. Qin Xian suddenly bowed. Please help me take care of Yenner, Empress Qin. Old Man Guanxi solemnly said. Old Man Guanxi, don't worry. We are here. Murong Yen is here. Qin Xian said firmly. She is not Murong Yen. She is Yen. Old Man Guanxi emphasized. The eyes of the Murong Yen clone turned red. Old Man Guanxi's emphasis meant that he had completely walked out of Murong Yan's shadow. He was himself. He was no longer someone else's shadow. Qin Xian nodded. Okay, we are here. Yenner is here. Old Man Guanxi nodded. He hugged Yenner and said, wait for me to come back. Okay. Yenner nodded worriedly. Who? Old Man Guanxi stepped forward and arrived at Giant God Wenxio's location. Old Mr. Guanxi? Gu Qin exclaimed in pleasant surprise in the pool of blood. Give me the life entrapment blade. Old Man Guanxi demanded. Guanxi did not hesitate and immediately gave it to Old Man Guanxi. Wang. When the life entrapment blade flew into Old Man Guanxi's hand, it strangely turned into a white chess piece. Heavenly Go chess. Old Mr. Guanxi, please. Mo Yike, who was lying in a pool of blood, also said excitedly. Wang. Under Old Man Guanxi's control, the Grand Tao of Chess reappeared. Controlling the Grand Tao of Chess, Old Man Guanxi instantly transformed into Giant God Wenxio. Rumble. Endless power seemed to surge into Giant God Wenxio's body. Oddly enough, Giant God Wenxio's battered body began to repair itself. Wang wang wang. In the blink of an eye, Giant God Wenxio turned into a golden dragon. He looked exactly like Egg 3. Ah, it's done. I feel like I can use the Guqin Dao Law more smoothly now. Gaochen exclaimed. Me too. Ziwei and Changsheng exclaimed. Old man, your Go skills can perfectly control the Go Dao Law. Our Giant God Wenxio is perfect now. Gaochen exclaimed. It should be Giant God Wenxio's golden dragon now. It represents the pinnacle of Wenxio created by Mr. Tsang Jie. Old Man Guanxi's voice came from the golden dragon. What? You're controlling it? Ziwei exclaimed. My painting Dao law is also being controlled by your Go Dao law? Chongqing exclaimed. Me too. Ziwei and Gaochen exclaimed. Heed my command. Battle the demons. Old man Guanxi suddenly bellowed. The longevity star, the purple star, and the north star felt bitter. There was nothing they could do about it. Old Mr. Guanxi's Go skills were simply too strong. He managed to tie down the Zither Dao, Calligraphy Dao, and Painting Dao. At this moment, there was no need to discuss who would be controlling the giant god Wuxia. Old man Guanxi was controlling everything. Roar. The giant god Wuxia soared into the sky. Chongming, leave egg 3 to me. You guard against egg 5. The giant god Wuxia roared. Boom. A loud sound came from the void. The god Wuxia immediately separated from egg 3. He turned to look at the giant god Wuxia and nodded. Whoosh. In the distance, egg 5 shot over. The god Wuxia rushed over. Egg 3 wanted to stop him, but the giant god Wuxia stood in front of him. Now your opponent is me. Boom. Boom. The giant god Wuxia and egg 3 fought each other. The god Wuxia and egg 5 fought each other. In the distance, Jianghu, who had transformed into a spirit god Wuxia, was in a deadlock with egg 1. When he saw the egg beast blocking egg 30, he heaved a sigh of relief. Chapter 1304. 30 Celestial Dome. Sun Wukong vs. Egg 2, Jesus vs. Egg 4. The great battle was ferocious. Heaven overflowing flames erupted in the void. Just as everyone in the 30 Celestial Dome was worried. Boom. The third rainbow bridge instantly plunged into the celestial world. In the image, 30 in the distance spat out another giant egg, which shot toward 30 in the blink of an eye. When it shot over, the shell broke and a man with golden light climbed out. He looked like a Vajra and he emitted a fierce aura. Egg 6? Amitba, I'll have to trouble you. Long Zhanghua looked at Amitba. Amitba, the master of the pure land of bliss, died in the void in order to spread Buddhism to the 6 Paths Celestial Dome. Later, because the disciples of the 6 Paths Celestial Dome kept chanting Amitba, he was reborn as the righteous Buddha and was saved by Guhai. Later, he was extradited by Shakyamuni. Good. Amitba put his palms together and rushed into the sky. Amitba, as the leader of all Buddhas in the world, recovered his former cultivation, and his strength was monstrous. He collided with Egg 6. Hong. Under the golden light, Amitba and Egg 6 fought. 6 Paths Celestial Dome. Spirit Cultivator Golden Dragon vs. Egg 1. Literary Cultivator Golden Dragon vs. Egg 3. God Cultivator Golden Dragon vs. Egg 5. For a moment, the battle was difficult to distinguish. No one lost. Because Old Man Guanxi was in charge, the Literary Cultivator Golden Dragon's calculation ability was extremely strong. Although his strength was on par with Egg 3, he could predict the enemy's moves time and time again, and even slightly beat Egg 3, which made the people of the world cheer. The demons of the 3 rainbow bridges were all blocked. The people of the world were no longer afraid. At this moment, 30, who was in the void, seemed to have a trace of anger. After all, the 2 sides sent 3 children each, but they couldn't kill a single person? 30 flicked his fingers lightly. Wong. 30's fingertips seemed to emit rays of golden light, and an inexplicable information was calculated by 30. All of this was arranged by General Guhai? Good. Let's see how much Guhai's arrangements can take. 30 said coldly. As he spoke, 30 waved his hand lightly. Hurry up. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, 3 loud booms rang out from the 6 Paths Immortal Dome of the Divine Continent. Just these 3 loud sounds made almost everyone in the world jump in fright. The 4th Rainbow Bridge? The 5th Rainbow Bridge? The 6th Rainbow Bridge? All the living beings in the world were horrified. Just the fact that they had appeared one after another was already so terrifying, so how could they have doubled in an instant? 3 Bifrost bridges were added at once. How could this be blocked? It was the same for the 30 immortal arches. Suddenly, the 4th, 5th, and 6th rainbow bridges all fell into the immortal world. Many of the beings who saw the rainbow bridge revealed looks of horror. However, at this moment, Long Zhanghua and Fuxi secretly sighed. 30 is starting to panic? That's good. Long Zhanggua's eyes lit up. It's the same as His Majesty's calculations, but after blocking 3 waves of attacks, 30 can no longer remain calm. Fuxi's eyes also lit up. In the image, 30 started to vomit again. Bam. 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 6 giant eggs were spat out in a row, representing 30's impatience and anger. Egg 7, Egg 8, Egg 9, Egg 10, Egg 11, Egg 12, go and slaughter all living beings. I want everyone to die. 30's eyes were cold. Boom. 30 flicked his fingers. Egg 8, Egg 10 and Egg 12 rushed towards 30's immortal dome. Egg 7, Egg 9 and Egg 10 rushed towards the 6-pad's immortal dome. Rumble. This time the aura that rushed over was much stronger than before. At this moment all living beings felt like they were about to be wiped out. Even though the first 3 waves were blocked, the last wave made them lose confidence. Hichu, accept the decree. Fushi shouted. Master, you won't let me go, right? I don't want to die yet. Hichu's expression suddenly changed and he was dumbfounded. Hichu, mobilize the power of Dahan and use the body of the golden dragon to fight the demons. Fushi read Guhai's decree. Cultivate the golden dragon? No, master, I don't dare. Hichu said in horror. The power of all living beings is gathered in your body. What's there to be afraid of? Do you want to die or do you want to fight? Fushi stared at him. Hichu's face was filled with grief. Why am I so unlucky? Accept the decree. Fushi shouted. Yes. Hichu took the decree. Boom. A beam of golden light shot into the Sea of Providence from the decree. Roar. In the Sea of Providence, thousands of dragons roared. The statue of Guhai, including the statues of the ministers, trembled slightly and turned into a golden dragon of Providence that surged in the Sea of Providence. Guhai's voice seemed to be sealed in the Sea of Providence. The world is in danger. I, Guhai, ask all living beings in the world, regardless of whether they are loyal to the Dahan Celestial Empire or not, as long as they are from the same immortal dome, please let go of all prejudices and contribute to ourselves and our descendants. Please raise your right hand and send your power into the Sea of Providence for Hichu to destroy the demons. Moreover, this time, the power of all living beings will be drained to the bone marrow, leaving only a trace of consciousness. All other powers will be drained. This time the loss will be very great. If we survive this, it will take a long time to recover. However, if we don't, all living beings will die. Rather than die at the hands of the demons, it is better to give it a try. Just this once, I ask that everyone join me and Hichu in resisting the evil demons. We will do our best and we will not regret it even if we die. Boom. Guhai's voice was instantly transmitted to the ears of all living beings in the world. All living beings in the world were watching this scene. At this moment, no one hesitated. Without hesitation, they all raised their right hands. We will do our best and we will not regret it even if we die. Use my power. I will give you all my power. Kill the demons. I don't want to die. I will give you all my power. All living beings cheered. At this moment, no matter who it was, they all raised their right hand. The moment they raised their right hand, they immediately fell to the ground. This time, the extraction was extremely deep. Everyone suddenly felt dizzy. If they hadn't retained a trace of consciousness, all living beings would have fallen into a deep sleep at this moment. The surging power was like the convergence of a river, rushing toward the eternal Yin capital and the infinite celestial capital. The 2 seas of providence in the Yin and Yang realms carried the power from all over the world and surged toward Hichu. So much power! Hichu cried out in surprise. Hichu's physical body was refined by Goddess Hutu and the others for 800,000 years. It was a complete copy of Heaven's physical body in the past. Heaven's physical body. Providence was created by Heaven. In terms of the power to fuse Providence, even Guhai's physical body couldn't compare to Hichu's physical body. Rumble. The providence of the Yin and Yang realms all flowed toward Hichu. The power from all living beings in the world all entered Hichu's body. Amidst the rumbling, Hichu became 1,000,000 feet tall. As he swam, he seemed to be able to tear the void apart. What powerful power, what powerful power! Master, I feel that I can shatter everything. Hichu laughed loudly. Providence Golden Dragon? Indeed, everything is destined. Fushi said with an emotional sigh. Master, who should I deal with? Hichu asked excitedly. The 4th Rainbow Bridge, Egg 7. Go. Fushi shouted. Yes. Hichu replied. With a dragon roar, Hichu instantly rushed out of the void. At this moment, all living beings in the world were lying on the ground without a trace of strength. However, they could see the scene in the sky clearly. In the scene, on the 4th Rainbow Bridge, Egg 7 also broke out of his shell and slowly turned into the appearance of a golden dragon. He was very similar to Hichu. Hong. He-2 and Egg 7 collided with a loud rumble, tearing at each other. In an instant, the battle became difficult to distinguish. In fact, Hichu was even stronger when he gathered the power of all living beings. All living beings were weak and their auras were weak. However, they all stared at the scene without blinking. When they saw Hichu defeating Egg 7, they were all excited as if they were the ones fighting. That was because Hichu was using the power of all living beings. Good. Many people shouted weakly and excitedly. Egg 7 blocked, but there was still Egg 9 and Egg 11. Wansho Taoism received the imperial edict. Zhang Sanfeng, Dugu Qiubai, Dongfang Bubi, Shimen Chueshue, lead the sword cultivators and resist Egg 11. Fuxi shouted and took out an imperial edict. The imperial edict rushed to the south of the divine continent. Whoosh! Suddenly, a strong suction force came over. It was Gu Hai's imperial edict that was instantly sucked into Dongfang Bubi's hand. Yes, the 4 great sword cultivators answered. Immortal slaying. Immortal slaying. Immortal trapping. Immortal slaying. The 4 great sword cultivators all shouted. 4 sword edges instantly rushed into the starry sky and attacked Egg 11. As for Fuxi himself, he took a step forward and rushed into the sky. Fuxi also made his move. Endless life Tao, endless flowing light. Fuxi shouted. Boom. 64 great Tao suddenly appeared, triggering the 3000 great Tao and 6 paths of reincarnation. Then they slowly rotated and seemed to condense a super huge altar of 64 trigrams, mobilizing the power of 3000 great Tao. But when Xiu's golden dragon has already been mobilized, if Fuxi mobilizes it again, will it weaken when Xiu's golden dragon? You revealed a trace of worry. At this moment Egg 9 rushed over, but it was a huge white dragon. Behind it was a compass-like light wheel that seemed to have the ability to deduce everything. Boom. The compass-like light wheel collided with the altar of 64 trigrams, forming a strange barrier. Inside the barrier, it was blurry and 7-colored light flowed and flickered. Fuxi transformed into a golden dragon and fought with the huge white dragon. I understand the law of time. This is the power of the future of Xiu. Fuxi mobilized the power of 3000 great Tao from another time period, which is not the same as the power of the 3000 great Tao that when Xiu mobilized. The Xiu golden dragon that Fuxi transformed into is fighting with the white dragon in the future? You revealed a look of surprise. Rumble. The 6 rainbow bridges were all blocked. The Xiu divine text spirits each corresponded to a golden dragon and each blocked an egg beast. The last egg beast was blocked by the newly created sword cultivator. The 4 swords of slaying, killing, and trapping combined to form the immortal slaying sword formation, and its power was even more monstrous and invincible. Gu Hai's arrangements were all effective. A total of 6 rainbow bridges were all blocked. Chapter 1305. 6 Paths of Immortal Dome. Gu Hai had already used the lifespan divine text spirit and the 5 cultivators of true virtue to their limits. His strongest power finally blocked the 5 beast eggs. The last egg, Egg 11, was a sword-shaped golden dragon. On its back there were barbed dragon scales that were like sharp swords. Its entire body emitted a monstrous sword chi that was incomparably ferocious. The 4 great sword cultivators were all experts of the sword path. All of them were as ferocious as the chi back then. Originally, even if they were as ferocious as the chi, they still wouldn't be able to block Egg 11. However, when the 4 of them appeared, they immediately arranged a super huge immortal slaying sword formation. They were like 4 giant swords that were millions of miles long, sealing the void in all directions. They formed a peerless sword formation. In the sword formation there were thousands of slaying sword chi. For a moment each sword seemed to be real. As for the figures of Zhang Sanfeng and the other 3, they instantly turned into hundreds of millions of figures. Each of them had a ferocious sword path, trapping the sword dragon in the center. Roar! The sword dragon roared, and the fierce swords around its body shot out in all directions. It was invulnerable and ferocious. The 4 great sword cultivators couldn't do anything for a moment. They could only trap the sword dragon. However, they were barely able to trap it. However, no matter what, the attacks of the 6 rainbow bridges were all blocked. All living beings in the world were lying on the ground, and they were immediately overjoyed. They're all blocked. That's great, ha! All living beings were extremely excited. This was because everyone knew that there were only 6 rainbow bridges. Now that all the rainbow bridges were blocked, the world was safe. The 30 immortal domes was the same. Sun Wukong blocked Egg 2, Jesus blocked Egg 4 and Amitba blocked Egg 6. Another 3 rainbow bridges shot down. Laozi, Shakyamuni, it's up to us now. Long Jianghu said in a deep voice. All right. The 2 of them replied. Long Jianghu rushed towards Egg 8. Shakyamuni rushed towards egg 10. I rushed towards egg 12. Boom boom boom. A loud sound rang out in the void. Under the terrifying impact, the 30 immortal domes and the 6 rainbow bridges were all blocked. Regardless of the outcome, at this moment the 12 rainbow bridges had all been blocked. Under Gu Hai's planning, the 2 immortal firmament dominions had already used all their strength. All of the eggs that 30 spat out were blocked. At this moment the two sides seemed to be evenly matched. Far away in the depths of the void, 30 narrowed his eyes. Longevity Divine Rune Spirit Sword? Sun Wukong Jesus, Amitba Longzhangwa Laozi Sakyamune? Ihi, is this Gu Hai's arrangement? 30 stared coldly at the 2 celestial firmaments. The 12 rainbow bridges were all blocked. Naturally, the people of the 2 immortal heavens were overjoyed. Everyone thought that 30 was angry out of humiliation. However, 30 did not do so. Instead, he suddenly revealed a trace of a sinister smile. It was as if everything that had happened earlier had been arranged by him. You've done your best, haven't you? 30 sneered. All the cultivators in the 2 celestial domes had a bad premonition. I'm not the only child that can be sent to the Rainbow Bridge. 30 sneered. Laughing coldly, 30 suddenly opened his mouth. Rumble. There seemed to be a series of loud sounds coming from 30's mouth. Then, as the people stared in horror, he suddenly spat out a huge egg. Bang 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 bang. After a series of spitting, 12 huge eggs appeared in front of everyone again. No. The people of the 2 celestial domes screamed at the same time. 12 more? How was that possible? Now that there were 12 of them, it was already enough for everyone to do their best. If another 12 were to come, then everything would be over. It's over. Everyone revealed a look of great fear. And this great fear was exactly what 30 needed. Because only a fearful soul would have the greatest soul power. Only by giving all living beings hope and then letting them fall into despair was the greatest fear. Fear was so deep that they did not have any strength left. It's over. Everything is over. Everyone revealed a deep sense of despair and fear. This was what 30 needed the most. This was the best moment to harvest the lives of the people. Ha 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 ha. 30 laughed loudly and flicked his finger. Bang. The 12 huge eggs followed the 12 rainbow bridges and rushed toward the 2 celestial domes. This time it was not the giant egg nor the egg beast but despair. Above the boundless celestial capital, at the entrance of the Lingxiao Palace of the immortal world, many people revealed looks of despair. It was useless. No one could stop 30. Everyone was doomed. Just as everyone was in despair. Boom. Suddenly one of the flying eggs exploded. Boom boom boom. A series of booms rang out as the 12 eggs flew toward the 2 immortal domes, exploding into pieces. Even as they did, the eggs seemed to have yet to fully mature. They struggled in pain for a moment before being sucked in by the 12 black vortexes. Then they were sucked into the vortexes which stirred them up, causing them to vanish into nothingness. What? The people of the 2 celestial domes were shocked. The eggs broke? Even 30's eyes narrowed. His 12 eggs had all been destroyed. Number 30 stood up and looked around coldly. 30 was looking for the monsters, and the people of the 2 celestial domes were also looking for the culprit. They did not know who had destroyed the 12 eggs. Whoosh. Suddenly, 30's figure paused, and he looked at the void not far away with a trace of surprise. There was a figure there? Everyone looked at that blurry figure, but when it got close to 30, that figure stopped. At this moment, the eyes of the people of the 6 celestial domes suddenly lit up, and the weak bodies lying there suddenly trembled. His Holiness, it's His Holiness. It's really His Holiness. His Holiness has already gone to the void. The 12 eggs just now were destroyed by His Holiness. So powerful. Dahan, His Holiness is invincible. Long live, long live, long live. A series of excited voices sounded throughout the 6 celestial domes. The sudden appearance of the skeleton Gu Hai gave the people of the 2 celestial domes a dose of excitement. Finally, someone stopped 30. 30 was no longer high up, no longer unreachable. At the very least, His Holiness could reach there. Fushi, Hichu, Changming, Old Man Guanxi, Jiangchen, the 4 sword cultivators Laozi, Shakyamuni, Amitba, Jesus, Sun Wukong, and Longzhangwa all had a trace of excitement on their faces. Gu Hai went? The final battle started? The skeleton Gu Hai stepped into the void and looked coldly at 30 who was not far away. How did you find me? 30 said coldly. I followed your rainbow bridge and just arrived. The skeleton Gu Hai said coldly. Impossible. How long has it been? In the void, the faster the speed, the stronger the force of the void. In such a short time, you should have been decomposed into nothingness. 30 showed a trace of disbelief. Even 30 himself had to set up a rainbow bridge to teleport the eggs. Otherwise, the eggs would have been decomposed into nothingness under the terrifying speed. But how did Guhai do it? Nothing is impossible. Guhai shook his head. However, 30 slowly calmed down. He carefully looked at Guhai and revealed a cold smile. Then he extended his hand and pointed at Guhai. Shio. A golden light rushed towards Guhai. Bang! Guhai's body shook, turned into a cloud of black smoke and disappeared. The golden light flashed. It shot into nothingness. 30, your aim doesn't seem to be good? Guhai showed a trace of a cold smile, condensed from another direction and revealed himself. 30's strength was unquestionable. The skeleton Guhai was not in a hurry to make a move. Instead he was testing 30's strength. He hiding the head but showing the tail. Guhai, aren't you here to stop me? Why are you hiding everywhere? 30 said coldly. I am here to stop you. However, how I will stop you is not up to you to judge. Guhai said coldly. Oh, hiding everywhere is your way of stopping me? It seems that you are also a coward. 30 showed a trace of ridicule. I'm just a coward. Didn't I ruin your plan? Guhai smiled lightly. 30's face was cold. You? You are not qualified. Since you are here, then don't leave. As he spoke, 30 waved his hand. Boom. It was as if countless golden nets suddenly appeared in all directions, covering the sky and earth, wrapping up all the places Guhai escaped, instantly sealing all of Guhai's escape routes. Wong. Guhai's body turned into a cloud of black smoke again, instantly dissipating into nothingness, strangely overflowing from the gaps of the golden net, and then reformed his body. Just SOSO. Guhai shook his head. Guhai's words were provoking 30, but Guhai knew in his heart that 30 was extremely dangerous. Your body is actually not within the laws of the two immortal firmament? Even the torch dragon golden net can't trap you? 30 said with a trace of coldness. 30 stared at Guhai, analyzing Guhai's purpose. It was obvious that Guhai did not dare to fight with him head-on, so he was testing him? However, Guhai was slippery at this moment, standing in the distance. He could not catch him for a while. 30, your strength should be stronger than mine. You can come out and try to kill me, Guhai said with a faint smile. 30 narrowed his eyes. He did not chase after Guhai. Guhai also analyzed some information in an instant. You don't want to step out of that area, right? If you step out of that area, the Rainbow Bridge will be in danger. Guhai said with a smile. 30 stared at Guhai for a while, finally revealing a trace of a cold smile. Two immortal firmament commanders? Ah, that's fine. I want to see how capable you are as a commander. 30 was unwilling to step out of the area covered by the black and white light, but 30's means were not limited to this. Opening his mouth, 30 let out a roar. Bang! With a loud bang, a huge egg was spat out from 30's mouth. This time it did not shoot towards the two immortal firmament commanders but waited. Ka. From the huge egg, a thick giant egg beast suddenly crawled out. The egg beast swallowed the eggshell, emitting an extremely terrifying aura. Master. The giant egg beast knelt down and bowed to 30. Go kill him. 30 pointed at Guhai. Yes. The giant egg beast replied. Turning his head, the giant egg beast looked at Guhai murderously. Chapter 1306. In the depths of the void. The egg beast that number 30 spat out looked coldly at Guhai. Roar. The egg beast was ferocious. It instantly pounced toward Guhai. As it stretched out its hand, a huge axe appeared in its palm and chopped down at Guhai. The axe's ferocious power seemed to have the power to split the heavens and earth. Just looking at it made everyone in the world feel shocked. It was obvious that the egg beast's strength was on par with the two immortal firmament realms' egg beasts. Guhai's eyes turned cold. He stretched out his hand and took out the Life Slayer saber. The Life Slayer saber collided with the huge axe. Although there were no spatial ripples in the void, there were still golden energy flames and red illusions that burst out. Boom! With a loud sound, Guhai's body was pushed back 1,000 feet before he stopped. However, the egg beast only stopped after retreating 1,000 feet. The outcome of the collision was obvious. Guhai's strength was actually stronger. In the distance, number 30 narrowed his eyes. A skeleton body? You are indeed stronger than your original body. It's enough to be stronger. Your egg beast is no match for me. Guhai sneered. As he spoke, his body dashed forward and the Life Slayer saber appeared. In an instant, the blood-red light enveloped everything. Rumble. The saber and the axe collided, releasing endless fierce light. Gu Hai's strength won the cheers of everyone because the egg beast was defeated by Gu Hai's life slayer saber. His holiness is invincible. Everyone in the Six Paths Immortal Firmament realm shouted anxiously. Seeing the egg beast retreating in defeat, 30 revealed a cold smile. You are stronger than this child of mine, but only by a little. I only have one child. What if there are 10 of you? Roar. Number 30 opened his mouth and roared. Bang bang bang. He spat out 9 huge eggs in succession. The huge eggs cracked quickly. After they cracked, some turned into giant dragons while others turned into human figures. All of them looked ferocious and ferocious. Kill? Number 30 said coldly. Roar. The 9 egg beasts instantly pounced towards Gu Hai. For a moment, what Gu Hai had to face were 10 peerless experts. The scales of victory instantly tilted towards the egg beasts. Rumble. After several collisions, Gu Hai was immediately sent flying by the 10 large egg beasts. Everyone was shocked to see Gu Hai retreating. Was His Holiness going to lose? Only a few people's eyes suddenly lit up with joy. As Gu Hai was sent flying by the heavy blow, the tip of the Life Slayer saber in his hand emitted waves of black gas. The black gas rushed towards the 10 large egg beasts. Black gas? Everyone who knew about Skeleton Gu Hai's ability had their eyes lit up. As expected, there were small skulls mixed in with the black gas. Although Gu Hai had been knocked away just now, he had used the Life Slayer saber to cut open a wound on the 10 large egg beasts' bodies. As soon as the wound was opened, countless small skulls swarmed towards the wound. What? The group of egg beasts' faces changed. Gu Hai smiled coldly. At this moment he was no longer fighting alone. He was accompanied by billions of small skulls. Ah, it hurts. What is this? Bastard, bastard, get lost. The 10 large egg beasts attacked the small skulls on their bodies while fighting against Gu Hai. Although the small skulls were not very powerful and did not bite much, the more wounds there were, the more skulls there would be. It was like a small flame falling on a dry grassland. Rumble. While Gu Hai was fighting, more and more skulls were biting the 10 large egg beasts. Bastard, get lost. Not long after, all the egg beasts were completely drowned by the small skulls. The egg beasts were spat out by number 30. Their bodies were extremely strong and were only 1 grade lower than the torch dragon. With so much flesh being eaten by the small skulls, they immediately turned into rolling energy that surged into Gu Hai's body. Not only did Gu Hai not lose any energy, but he also seemed to be filled with energy. Rumble. Not long after, one of the egg beasts was cut in half by the Life Slayer saber. The remaining egg beasts were also defeated. Ah, it hurts. My skin is all gone. It's bitten into my bone marrow. Master, save me. Master, save me. Master. The group of egg beasts fled toward number 30 in fear. However, Gu Hai's Life Slayer saber blocked all of them. In an instant, Gu Hai was killing in all directions. Everyone's faces turned red when they saw this. His Holiness is invincible. His Holiness is invincible. Everyone couldn't help but cheer. Previously, 1 egg beast was already terrifying enough to destroy the world. Now there were 10 of them. How terrifying would that be? However, in front of His Holiness, it was a one-sided slaughter. The change was too fast. When everyone looked at Gu Hai, they were ecstatic. Kill number 30. Kill the demon. His Holiness is invincible. Countless people cheered. Only half of the group of egg beasts were left after being devoured. Only one of them paid the price of losing an arm to reach number 30. The rest were all killed by Gu Hai's Life Slayer saber and were continuously eaten. Number 30's face was gloomy. He grabbed the egg beast that escaped and squeezed it. A strange force rushed into the egg beast's body. Boom. All the little skulls were blasted away in an instant before disappearing into thin air. Huh. Gu Hai's expression changed. How could number 30 deal with these black fog skeletons? The black fog skeletons were dispersed, and the egg beast's shape was revealed. At this moment, its internal organs were exposed and its bones were eerie. It was terrifying. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master. The egg beast said with a trace of fear. You can't even deal with 1 Gu Hai. What a piece of trash. Number 30's eyes were cold. He pointed his finger. No. Bang. The egg beast screamed and exploded into countless pieces. He's your child. Gu Hai frowned and said in surprise. I don't have such a useless child. Number 30 said coldly. Gu Hai was shocked. This number 30 was really cold-blooded and heartless. Gather the power of Wuji? Haha, this is a supernatural power that the torch dragon comprehended when it was born. Back then it gave it to Tsang, but it was unwilling to pass it to me until it died. I couldn't get it, so I sealed the power of Wuji in Tsang's body. I didn't expect that this power of Wuji would be obtained by you? Number 30 said coldly. Gather the power of Wuji? Gu Hai frowned. This black fog skeletons were called Gather the power of Wuji? Now I understand why you didn't get disintegrated by the void force despite your great speed. So it's because of the infinite force. Ha, the torch dragon was preparing to use it to restrain my ability. Alas, I'm no longer the same person I used to be. 30 said coldly. Is that so? You're no longer the same person? Then do you dare to try my saber? Gu Hai said with a cold smile. Number looked at Gu Hai and smiled. Although I don't know how to use Gather the power of Wuji, do you really think that I don't dare to step out of this extreme region? Oh? Gu Hai's face fell. Giving you my child will only make you stronger. I know that. However, this Gather the power of Wuji can't hurt me. If you want to hurt me, you'll have to devour both immortal domes and destroy the heavens and earth. Number laughed coldly. You don't dare to come out, do you? Gu Hai continued to provoke him. Number 30's eyes turned cold. He stomped his feet and leaped forward. Whoosh! In an instant, Number 30 flew out of the extreme region. With a speed that Gu Hai could not avoid, he appeared in front of Gu Hai. What? Gu Hai's face changed. Number 30 can leave that region? The two immortal domes were also shocked. Everything happened too quickly. In a flash, Number 30 was already in front of Gu Hai. Gu Hai swung his Life Slayer saber, but could not keep up with Number 30's speed. Number 30 moved, slamming his palm into Gu Hai's forehead. It was so fast that Gu Hai did not have time to react. Boom! A palm landed on Gu Hai's head. No! The two immortal domes cried out in agony. His Holiness was going to be killed by Number 30? That palm, without a doubt, had the power to destroy the heavens and earth. If that palm landed on Gu Hai's head, would Gu Hai still be alive? Indeed, the palm landed and a destructive force filled Gu Hai's body. Boom! Gu Hai's head and Gu Hai's body exploded. Exploded? Everyone in the world held their breaths as they watched Gu Hai's crushing defeat in horror. Defeated in an instant? How terrifying was Number 30's strength? Whoosh! Number 30 returned to the extreme region. Just now, the 12 rainbow bridges trembled and Number 30 returned, stabilizing them. Indeed, 30 could not leave this region. Suddenly killing Gu Hai could only do so for a short time. Gathering the power of Wuji? Ha, that's all you got. Number 30 sneered. The commander of the two immortal domes was killed just like that? Just as 30 revealed a satisfied expression, not far away, the shattered fog of the Gu Sea that had just exploded actually began to slowly reform. Wong? Gu Hai reappeared. Ha! The two immortal domes cheered. Gu Hai did not die? Did not die. Everyone's eyes were filled with joy. Number 30 looked coldly at the reformed Gu Hai, gathering the power of Wuji? There was a bruise on Gu Hai's forehead. Clearly, that earlier palm strike had inflicted a grievous injury on Gu Hai that was hard to recover from. However, Gu Hai managed to survive. The void is endless, my body is indestructible. Number 30, you can't kill me? Gu Hai said with a ferocious expression. Number 30 looked at Gu Hai's recovered body and said with a ferocious expression, gathering the power of Wuji? Ah, Torch Dragon, you old bastard, you didn't teach me such a sacred art, causing me to almost die in the void. That should be mine. Gu Hai stood far away from Number 30. This time, Gu Hai did not charge forward. 30's earlier strike allowed Gu Hai to see its horrifying might. He managed to shatter Gu Hai with one palm strike. How strong was 30? The void is endless, my body is indestructible. This was what Gu Hai said. Even the creator of this sacred art, Torch Dragon, died. Would he not die because of this sacred art? Gu Hai did not want to experience that destructive attack a few more times. Number 30, you can't kill me. Similarly, these meatballs you spit out are not my match. I can't do anything to you now, but from now on, these meatballs you spit out can forget about entering the two immortal domes. Gu Hai snorted. Chapter 1307. If 30 wanted to maintain the 12 rainbow bridges, he couldn't leave the extreme region for long periods of time. Although Gu Hai wasn't 30's match, he could kill the egg beasts and prevent them from teleporting to the two immortal dominions. 30 looked coldly at Gu Hai. You're waiting for your main body, aren't you? So what if I am? Gu Hai said coldly. Your main body wasn't as strong as you in the past. You want to stop me? What a joke. Moreover, the void is boundless. He doesn't have the power of infinity. How is he going to come here? 30 sneered. You don't have to worry about how he's going to come here. I only know that I've blocked all your plans. Gu Hai said coldly. Is it blocked? Do you think that's all I have? 30 sneered. Gu Hai's expression darkened. 30 stretched out his hand. Suddenly 2 images appeared not far away. One was the image of the 6 immortal dominions. It was the infinite celestial capital. The other was the image of 30 immortal dominions. It was the image of the immortal world's heavenly court. At this moment, the 2 immortal dominions were resisting the 12 egg beasts with all their might. They had used up all their strength and no longer had the strength to resist. However, at this moment, 3 men in golden robes suddenly appeared outside the infinite celestial capital. All 3 of them were surrounded by boundless golden light. A terrifying aura erupted from them. Similarly, 3 men in golden robes suddenly appeared outside the immortal world's heavenly court. All 3 of them shone with boundless golden light. Each of them carried with them a monstrous aura. They were incomparably ferocious. The infinite celestial capital and the immortal world's heavenly court were both important places in the immortal dominions. After the experts fought, those who stayed behind were their relatives. In the infinite celestial capital they were the closest people to Gu Hai. The sudden appearance of these 3 golden-robed men caused everyone to be alarmed. Those are? Gu Hai's expression changed. Those are the people strengthened by my soul seed. As for their strength, although they are slightly weaker than my children, the 3 of them added together are equivalent to the strength of one of my children. 30 revealed a faint smile. 3 is equivalent to 1 egg beast? Gu Hai's expression suddenly changed. As for the egg beasts, there was no need to talk about them. Although Gu Hai could kill them all, they were still too weak. However, no one in the 2 immortal firmament could compare to them. That powerful strength was simply the power to destroy the world. 30 was prepared? Soul guidance? Isn't your soul seed? Gu Hai said with an ugly expression. Wasn't he trapped by Fushi? Aha, who said I only have 1 soul seed? 30 sneered. Gu Hai clenched his fists anxiously. Oh right, in the infinite celestial capital your wives and children are there, right? For empresses their life and death are at stake. Do you want to help them? 30 looked at Gu Hai and smiled. Gu Hai's scalp went numb. Qin Xian'er and the others were in danger? I can wait for you. How about it? They will make their move in 5 minutes. It is not too late for you to return now, 30 said with a smile as he looked at Gu Hai. Gu Hai's expression was gloomy. You don't believe me, right? 30 revealed a faint smile. However, they saw 3 golden-robed men on each side and one of them attacked. In the infinite celestial capital, Ho Yi, Xing Tian, and Gu Han immediately rushed over. The 3 of them were at the peak of Heavenly Palace. Although they borrowed power from Hichu just now, they recovered quickly. This was the strongest strength in the infinite celestial capital. They instantly arrived in front of one of the golden-robed men. Boom! With a loud sound, one of the golden-robed men attacked first, and in an instant the 3 were severely injured. Kaboom! The 3 were sent flying back and a large number of buildings were blown away. The golden-robed men's strength was incomparably fierce. The 3 peak of Heavenly Palace were actually not his match? Second brother? Oi! Xing Tian. The infinite celestial capital was in chaos, and the first person to attack had his hat blown off, revealing his face. Gu Ming? Suddenly someone exclaimed. Of the 3 golden-robed men, the one who attacked was actually Gu Ming? Unfilial son. Gu Hai's eyes also widened. The entire infinite celestial capital was shocked. The 4th prince? The 4th prince of the Dahan celestial capital, Gu Ming? Soul guidance? Wasn't Gu Ming's soul guidance already erased? Gu Hai said angrily. Who said there is only 1 soul guidance? That Gu Ming has 2 soul guidance. You didn't know, right? Ah. 30 looked at Gu Hai and laughed. 30 celestial capital. Takeshi Ryushin entered the battle, but he was no match for the golden-robed men, and was instantly defeated. The infinite celestial capital of the immortal world's heavenly court was in imminent danger. Gu Hai, do you want to watch your wife and children be killed, or do you want to save them? An incense stick's worth of time was very short. Choose for yourself, ha ha ha. 30 suddenly laughed loudly. At this moment, Gu Hai was trembling all over. Infinite celestial capital. At first, everyone was cheering when they saw Gu Hai holding 30 back. But in the next moment, 3 golden-robed men appeared. As soon as the 3 of them appeared, an extremely terrifying aura erupted. The terrifying might made the entire limitless celestial capital shake incessantly. Who is it? Ho's expression changed. Chen Xian'er, Long Wanqing, Lin Wan'er, and Bingheim all looked into the distance with ugly expressions on their big bellies. This surging murderous aura was clearly not friendly. Gu Han, Ho Yi, and Xing Tian were the strongest in the infinite celestial capital, and the three of them charged forward without hesitation. The three golden-robed men seemed to want to kill the chicken to warn the monkey, and all three moved at the same time. But the one in the middle moved the fastest, and he instantly snatched the opponent of the other two, fighting 1 against 3. Boom, boom, boom. In the blink of an eye, the three were powerless in front of the golden-robed men, and they were sent flying backward, smashing into a large number of buildings. What? Everyone's expression changed. 3 cultivators in the great fulfillment of Heavenly Palace were actually no match for him? Perhaps because the battle was too intense, the wind blew the golden-robed man's hat, revealing his face. Gu Ming? 4th Crown Prince? Little Ming? Evil creature. Cries of surprise rang out in the infinite celestial capital. No one had expected that the deposed crown prince would return. Furthermore, this time he was standing on the opposite side of the great Han Empire. You wanted to kill the Dahan? Bastard, Gu Ming, father spared your life, but you repaid kindness with enmity. Gu Ming, you traitor. Gu Tang glared and roared. Gu Tang was extremely regretful. Back then he had followed his father's request and sent Gu Ming to the mortal world to hide. If he had known, he would have killed this traitor. Gu Ming looked at the people of the infinite celestial capital, and his eyelids twitched slightly, murderous intent radiating from his eyes. In the distance, the officials of the Dahan looked at Gu Ming with hatred. Including Gu Qin, Gu Han, and Gu Tang, they were all furious, and wanted to eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. Only Chen Xian'er, the empress of the Dahan celestial capital, looked at him with disappointment in her eyes. There was no hatred, only a sense of loss, a kind of empty disappointment. The image above their heads showed that 30 was forcing Gu Hai. Chen Xian'er looked up. She showed a hint of sadness. Husband, I don't know if you can hear my voice, but at this moment, please don't come back. Don't be forced by 30. Don't come back. Chen Xian'er shouted. 30 wanted to see Gu Hai's miserable state, so he used a great technique to transmit his voice. Go back, Gu Hai. 30 smiled slightly. Gu Hai's eyelids twitched. Not going back? Fine, then I won't wait. Go, destroy the infinite celestial capital. 30 smiled faintly. Hum. In the distance, the 3 golden-robed people suddenly heard a sound. Yes. The 3 of them responded. Ah. 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 At this moment, the 4 empresses suddenly had a stomachache. Empress, what's wrong? Some of the maids asked anxiously. It hurts, I'm going to give birth. Chen Xian'er clutched her stomach. Me too, it hurts. Long Wanqing, Lin Wan'er, and Bingheim cried out in pain. The empress is going to give birth, quick, quick. The officials were anxious. The 4 empresses entered the soaring palace hall, and the maids and female doctors quickly entered the hall. Giving birth? Ah, Gu Hai, you really don't want to go back? This isn't just your wife, there's also your son. There's also your 4 children. 30 laughed mockingly. Attack. 30 ordered. Yes. The 3 golden-robed people immediately flew towards the infinite celestial capital. Gu Ming, have you forgotten? Mother was so good to you back then. Gu Qin roared. If you want to kill Mother, you'll have to step over my dead body first. Gu Han flew over again. Ho Yi and Xing Tian also flew over and blocked the 3 golden-robed people. However, the 3 golden-robed people's strength was not something they could compare to. Gu Ming turned his head to look at the 2 golden-robed people next to him. The Heavenly Master's order is to kill without mercy, Gu Ming shouted. The 2 of you are just like me, chosen by the Heavenly Master to be loyal to him. Please use your full strength and don't hold back. Aha, Gu Ming, you used to be the crown prince of Dahan. Aren't you soft-hearted? One of the golden-robed people laughed. Soft-hearted? If we follow the Heavenly Master, we can create new worlds. What's there to soft-hearted about? The 2 of you don't fail. The Dahan is filled with traps to guard against danger. Gu Ming shouted. As Gu Ming spoke, he pulled out a long sword. Gu Ming, we were really blind. Gu Han Fei Lai yelled. Ho Yi, Xing Tian, and Gu Han each faced a golden-robed person. They knew they were no match for him, but they didn't hesitate to attack. You overestimate yourselves. Do you know that the Heavenly Master has bestowed us with power that you can't compare to? The two golden-robed people immediately charged forward. They were all peak gods. Who could stop them? No one in the Six Paths Immortal Dome could. The limitless heaven capital was on the verge of destruction. Gu Hai, you chose this, 30 said, laughing. You'll have to watch your wife and children die. Ah. Gu Hai was trembling from head to toe. Reason told him not to leave, but there were some things that were beyond reason. Just as Gu Hai was about to make his move. Die. A roar rang out from the three golden-robed people. Gu Han's palm landed on Gu Ming, but Gu Ming didn't attack him. Instead, he stabbed his long sword into the body of one of the golden-robed people. Boom. The golden-robed person was in the middle of dealing with Ho Yi. How could he possibly expect a sneak attack from behind? You, the golden-robed person said, turning to look at Chang Ming in disbelief. Boom. The long sword slashed vertically, instantly cleaving the golden-robed person in half. Were the golden-robed people having internal strife? In an instant, everyone's eyes widened as they looked at this sudden scene in astonishment. How dare you? Suddenly, a furious roar resounded through the air. Chapter 1308. Gu Ming's sudden betrayal shocked everyone in an instant. Even Gu Han, who had just slapped Gu Ming, could not believe it. At this moment, the fate of the living beings was uncertain, while 30's side was at ease. Why did Gu Ming suddenly choose to betray 30? How dare you? 30's voice suddenly rang out. 30 was also shocked and furious. After the other golden-robed man slapped Xing Tian, he also looked at Gu Ming with a guarded expression. Gu Ming, you're crazy. The golden-robed man shouted in shock and anger. I'm not crazy. I know what I'm doing. You want to kill my mother and brother. Of course I have to stop you. Gu Ming shouted. Gu Ming stood in front of the golden-robed man. Gu Ming's words made everyone in the limitless celestial capital feel ashamed. Just a moment ago, everyone was still cursing Gu Ming, but now they realized that they had misunderstood him. Gu Qin, Gu Han, and Gu Tang stared at Gu Ming, their hearts filled with joy and astonishment. Gu Ming, why did you betray me? 30's voice rang out from the end of the void. At this moment, even 30 did not understand why Gu Ming would betray him at the last minute. Gu Hai stood not far from 30 and also looked at Gu Ming in shock. Gu Ming raised his head and looked at the sky. The image in the sky showed Sa and Gu Hai in the distance. Looking at the two in the image, Gu Ming smiled bitterly. My unfilial son was deceived by a scoundrel in the past and tried to kill my father. I have no face to acknowledge my father. Today, I ask my father to bear witness that my unfilial son will use his blood to cleanse my sins. Boom. As he spoke, Gu Ming waved the long sword in his hand and stabbed at the other golden-robed man. How dare you? The golden-robed man shouted angrily. A long sword appeared in his hand and clashed with the golden-robed man. Rumble. The two of them began to fight. For a moment, the void was torn apart. Gu Ming fought with all his might as if he was going to die together with his opponent. In the blink of an eye, the two of them were covered in wounds. You're crazy, you're crazy. Gu Hai is about to die and you actually betrayed him. You're crazy. The golden-robed man shouted in shock. What? Gu Ming, why are you doing this? 30 roared angrily. It was not that 30 cared too much about Gu Ming, but he could not imagine why he would change sides at this time. What? He had given him so much power and even promised him that he would rule the world in the future. What right does he have to betray me? In the distance, Gu Ming's body was covered with wounds from the battle. Blood was spurting out continuously. However, at this moment, Gu Ming was filled with joy. What? Although my father doesn't recognize me anymore, in my heart, I will always be a member of the Gu family. This is because only my father and mother truly care about me. In their eyes, I am a human. As for following you for 30 years, I am just a dispensable tool that can be replaced at any time. I'd rather die than be a human. Gu Ming gritted his teeth and said. As he spoke, he charged towards the golden-robed man. Boom. Gu Ming risked losing an arm, but he still managed to cut off his opponent's arm. Both sides would suffer great losses and perish together? Gu Qin, Gu Han, and Gu Tang's eyes immediately turned red. Go. Gu Han roared. Ho Yi and Xing Tian immediately pounced forward. In the depths of the void, 30's expression was extremely ugly at this moment. You'd rather die than be a human? Aha, you want to be a human? Fine, then be a human. My power is returned. 30 shouted. As he shouted, the soul seed in Gu Ming's body suddenly trembled and released a ray of blue light. Under the blue light, Gu Ming's body instantly froze. Boom. The soul guide activated the power bestowed by 30 and exploded with a loud bang. A large hole instantly appeared in Gu Ming's chest. Gu Ming screamed and spat out a mouthful of blood. He was instantly sent flying. Fourth brother. Gu Han suddenly cried out in alarm as he pounced over. Many thanks, Heaven Master. The golden-robed man immediately understood everything and said gratefully. In his gratitude he even grabbed his broken arm and connected it. How is Gu Ming? Hoi asked anxiously. His meridians are all destroyed and his 3 souls are shattered. Fourth brother. Gu Han's eyes were red. Gu Ming was crippled by 30. His whole body trembled as if he was experiencing terminal lucidity. Second brother, I'm sorry? Gu Ming said weakly, trembling. It's fine. It's fine. We will definitely save you. Gu Han shouted sorrowfully. Apologize to my mother on my behalf. This unfilial son is unfilial and unworthy of being a son. I have let down my mother who was so good to me in the past. This unfilial son is a scoundrel. My mother fainted in front of Buddha in the past for me. My mother ran hundreds of mountains to seek medicine for me and even broke her leg. Fourth brother. Gu Han cried as he continuously infused energy into Gu Ming's body. Although I am no longer fit to call you that, please allow me to call you big brother, second brother, and third brother one last time. Take care. Gu Ming laughed bitterly as he vomited blood. After betraying the Heaven Master, you still want others to take care of you? The Heaven Master took back everything he gave you. That is because you deserve to die. Don't worry. All of them will be with you soon. The golden-robed man said with a ferocious expression after he connected his broken arm. With a ferocious expression, the golden-robed man threw a palm strike at Gu Ming. The golden-robed man also felt extremely resentful. The other golden-robed man that Gu Ming killed was his younger brother. Earlier, Gu Ming even chopped off one of his arms. Now Gu Ming had lost all his energy. This was the best opportunity for him to take revenge. Ho Yi and Xing Tian immediately went over to block. If you want to die first, then accompany him. Die. The golden-robed man roared. The golden-robed man threw a palm strike with world-destroying might towards everyone. At this moment, no one could stop him. Before the palm strike arrived, the wind from the palm strike already made everyone's figures wobble. It looked like they would die under this gigantic palm strike. Honk. A loud sound resounded throughout the place. Gu Han, Ho Yi, and Xing Tian did not die. However, that golden-robed man suddenly exploded. The shock waves from the explosion did not diminish. A huge black hole appeared behind him. What? 30's face sank. Everyone revealed shocked expressions. That golden-robed man died? Oh. However, they saw 2 figures standing in midair. They were Long Wanyu and Gu Hai's original body, who had just come out of the heavenly path reincarnation. Gu Hai's original body? His Holiness? It's His Holiness. Everyone in the boundless celestial capital suddenly exclaimed. His Holiness has come out of seclusion. Long live His Holiness. Long live His Holiness. The entire world was filled with cheers. His Holiness had returned. It was not the skeleton clone, but the original body. His Holiness's original body had returned. Many people revealed excited expressions. Only 30's eyes turned cold. Gu Hai appeared and smashed that golden-robed man into pieces with one palm strike. In the next moment he arrived at Gu Han's location. Gu Han was carrying Gu Ming. Gu Ming had already reached the end of his life. When he saw Gu Hai's arrival, he trembled again. Blood kept spurting out of his mouth. However, when he saw Gu Hai, he was inexplicably moved and tears kept falling from his eyes. Father, this unfilial son is unfilial. Father, please punish me. Gu Ming's eyes were red as he trembled. Little Ming, although you did something wrong, if it weren't for you today your mother and brother would have been killed. You saved them. Gu Hai said gently. Father, why you forgive me? Gu Ming was so moved that his whole body trembled. I have never blamed you. Little Ming, you will always be my son, the crown prince of the Dahan. Gu Hai said solemnly. Yes, I will always be a member of the Gu family. I am still a member of the Gu family. I am still. Gu Ming was so moved that tears kept falling. However, as Gu Ming spoke, he no longer made a sound. Father, save little Four. Save little Four. Gu Han said while crying. His soul is broken. Seal it for now. We will think of a way in the future. Gu Hai waved his hand. Buzz. Shao Chun drove his Go Dao laws, and energy instantly sealed Gu Ming's corpse. How painful. How painful. In the distance, the pained sounds of the four queens giving birth came from the soaring palace hall. Gu Hai felt anxious. However, even though he was anxious, he could not go and check on them at this moment. "Wanyu, help me take care of Xian'er and the others," Gu Hai said as he looked at Long Wanyu. "All right." Long Wanyu nodded. Then she handed Gu Ming's corpse to Gu Han. Gu Hai looked up at the sky in that huge scene. He looked at 30 from an infinite distance. Gu Hai's sudden appearance. 30 did not expect this at all. "Your main body strength increased by so much?" 30's expression changed. At this moment, 30's expression finally changed. Of course, with 30's confidence, he did not think much of Gu Hai's main body's strength. The key was that the situation in the Six Paths Immortal Dome changed. Once Gu Hai joined the Battle of the Egg Beasts, his 6 egg beasts would most likely be doomed. At this moment, 30's eyes filled with rage. This was because Gu Hai's appearance broke the balance. 30's plan to kill all life in the 2 Immortal Dome would not succeed anytime soon. The rainbow bridge leading to the Six Paths Immortal Dome was also useless. All my arrangements were useless? 30 flew into a rage out of humiliation. It seemed like he wanted to give up on controlling the rainbow bridge and start a massacre. Gu Hai seemed to have guessed 30's thoughts. However, the two Gu Hai waved their hands at the same time. Boom. A passageway that looked like a rainbow bridge rushed to the Six Paths Immortal Dome. A hole in the void instantly appeared before Gu Hai's main body. 30 revealed some surprise. Gu Hai's main body stepped forward and entered the hole, instantly charging into the void. This is the path that you had Jiangchen refine?" 30 narrowed his eyes. Whoosh. In the next moment, Gu Hai's main body flashed and arrived in front of 30. Gu Hai's main body and the skeleton Gu Hai's consciousness instantly resonated. They knew everything. Gu Hai's main body did not participate in the Battle of the Eggs, because he did not want to lead 30 to the Six Paths Immortal Dome. Otherwise, the damage would be immeasurable. It might even shatter the Six Paths Immortal Dome. At that time, all his plans to protect all living beings would be ruined. Therefore, Gu Hai's main body came here. At the same time, he prepared to fight 30 in the depths of the void. In the center of the void, the hearts of all living beings were pulled. Gu Hai's two bodies faced 30. Chapter 1309. In the depths of the void. The two Gu Hai stared coldly at 30. 30 narrowed his eyes as he looked at the two Gu Hais. Gu Hai did not participate in the Battle of the Eggs. Coming here meant that Gu Hai wanted to fight with him. Fight with him? What a joke. Gu Hai, what did you gain in the Heavenly Tao reincarnation? Oh right, there is a small pool of soul power in the colorless world. You didn't go in there, did you? 30 sneered. Thanks to you, I opened the door to the colorless world with my divine sense and soul guide. My luck is good. With my wife's help, the soul power will recognize me. Gu Hai said. Thanks to me? What do you mean by that? But what's the use of a pool of soul power? If I want to kill you, won't I kill you as I please? 30 sneered. As he spoke, 30 dashed forward with the same speed as when he smashed Gu Hai. In an instant, he appeared in front of Gu Hai and wanted to smash Gu Hai into pieces. At this moment, Gu Hai saw 30's figure and could still dodge. However, Gu Hai did not dodge and faced it head-on. Courting death. 30 shouted coldly. Boom. With a loud bang, the two giant palms collided with each other. At this moment, the two immortal domes opened their eyes wide. They knew that this Gu Hai was the last line of defense against 30. The two palms collided. Can he block it? At this moment, even Long Jianghu, Laozi, Fushi, and the others stopped fighting and looked up. Everyone knew that if Gu Hai could not block it, then all life would be finished. Rumble. The 12 rainbow bridges trembled, but no one cared. If the rainbow bridges were gone, 30 could build them again. If Gu Hai lost, then everything would be over. Gu Hai's face was ferocious. He did not dare to hide and used all his 9 sets of souls. Boom. With a loud bang, the two giant palms separated. 30 remained where he was, while Gu Hai was sent flying backward for tens of thousands of miles before finally coming to a stop. In a single exchange, Gu Hai had actually been defeated despite using his full strength? Retreat in defeat? All right. Long live. Countless experts in the two immortal firmament dominions cheered. He had only retreated, he hadn't lost. Gu Hai had actually withstood 30's furious palm strike? Although this tolerance wasn't enough, it gave the two immortal firmament great hope. One had to know that no one dared to face 30's true body head-on. But Gu Hai did it? Your power? Why did it increase so much? How is that possible? There is only a single pool of soul energy in the heavenly Tao reincarnation cycle. Disbelief appeared in 30's eyes. Ever since Pengu's death, no matter who it was, as long as they were hit by his palm, they would die without a doubt. Even the skeleton Gu Hai had shattered in an instant. If not for the infinite force, it would have vanished into thin air. But Gu Hai's true body had actually withstood it? A pool of soul energy? That was before you left. Now it's not a pool of soul energy but a sea of soul energy. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. You see? 30's eyes widened. That's right. 30, you're not invincible, right? Gu Hai laughed excitedly. Before the palm strike, Gu Hai was still a little nervous. After all, he didn't know if he could block 30. But now he had. With the gift of the torch dragon and the help of Pengu's will, he had absorbed a sea of soul energy. Now he could finally block 30. I'm not invincible? Do you know how much power I used just now? 30 sneered. Rumble. Not far away, the rainbow bridge trembled as if it was about to collapse. But 30 didn't care at all. How much did you use? Gu Hai asked in a deep voice. I just used Pengu's power just now. 30 said indifferently. Pengu's power? Gu Hai was slightly stunned. That's right, Pengu's power in the past. Originally, I wanted you to die under Pengu's power, but you took such a big advantage and survived. Well, today all of you are about to be destroyed. I want you to know what you're facing. 30 said coldly. As he spoke, 30 waved his sleeve. Boom. Immediately, 2 ice crystal coffins that were 10,000 feet tall flew out from his sleeves. The ice crystal was transparent, and 2 figures could be vaguely seen inside. In one of them there was a huge burly man lying inside. In the other coffin, there seemed to be a golden dragon lying in it. Release. 31 yelled. Boom. Crack. A thin crack appeared on the lid of the 2 coffins. Within the coffins, a terrifying aura surged out. That terrifying aura made the 2 Gu Hai's face sink. What is this? What a powerful aura. It's also a familiar aura. The coffin lid slowly opened. A man and a dragon were immediately exposed in front of everyone. Everyone in the Immortal Dome saw them. Pengu? Laozi suddenly exclaimed. That candle in the mouth of the golden dragon, it can't be a torch dragon, right? Long Wanyu was also shocked. The aura of a man and a dragon, although separated by an infinite distance, strangely transmitted to the 2 immortal dominions. Everyone in the 2 immortal dominions trembled. This is? Gu Hai frowned and looked at 30. I refined this Pengu torch dragon. 30 said. You refined it? Gu Hai's expression suddenly changed. 30 returned to the polar region and stabilized the 12 rainbow bridges again. At this time the 2 coffins floated on the left and right. The aura of panic surged out crazily. Initially, I thought that no one would be qualified to meet them, but your appearance has given me a pleasant surprise. That's right, this is refined by me, and it's exactly the same as Pengu's and torch dragons. Even its strength is exactly the same. 30 sneered. Impossible, Pengu torch dragon? How could you refine it? Gu Hai showed a trace of disbelief. Because my current achievements are higher than them, so naturally I can refine it. Of course you're right, this isn't exactly Pengu and torch dragon, it's just their power. The power is exactly the same. So, Gu Hai, you better be prepared. 30 sneered. As he sneered, he lightly patted Pengu's coffin. Pengu opened his eyes, and a soul-stirring aura rushed towards Gu Hai like 2 sharp swords. Boom. The powerful aura hit Gu Hai, causing Gu Hai's robes to flutter. Go kill him. 30 pointed at Pengu. Pengu slowly stepped out of the coffin and looked at Gu Hai's body. Suddenly his eyes turned completely red. Like a cannonball he rushed towards Gu Hai. Gu Hai's expression changed and he hurriedly punched out. Boom. Another loud sound rang out, and Gu Hai was sent thousands of miles away by Pengu's fist. Pengu heaven-shattering fist? Is this really an imitation of Pengu? Laozi was shocked in the 30th level of the Immortal Dome. Gu Hai was sent flying with a single strike. Pengu did not give up and he rushed towards Gu Hai again. This time, Gu Hai did not hide and took out Pengu's axe. Imitation of Pengu? It's always an imitation. How can a Pengu without Pengu's axe have the power to split the world? Gu Hai glared and chopped with the axe. Slash. Boom. Gu Hai, who was holding Pengu's axe, collided with the imitation Pengu. Under the collision, rolling power overflowed, like a golden sea of energy rippling in all directions. Under the huge impact, Gu Hai retreated hundreds of miles, but the imitation Pengu also retreated hundreds of miles. With Pengu's axe, Gu Hai and the imitation Pengu were evenly matched? Good. Cheers came from the two celestial domes. What's fake will always be fake. Pengu's ferocity lies in Pengu's axe, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. The imitation Pengu in front of him was also very strong. Not only were they evenly matched, but Pengu's axe did not leave a wound on his arms, which was the most serious thing about Gu Hai. However, 30 was not in a hurry and he sneered. That trace of confidence made Gu Hai vigilant. Sure enough, in the next moment, the imitation Pengu waved his hand at his coffin. Buzz. The crystal coffin slowly changed shape, and in the blink of an eye, it turned into the shape of a heaven-splitting axe and fell into the imitation Pengu's hand. Heaven-splitting axe. Did the imitation Pengu also have a heaven-splitting axe? Gu Hai's face darkened. The imitation Pengu sneered and pounced at Gu Hai again. At this moment all spells were useless. Under absolute power, a surge of power could break all spells. Gu Hai could only face force with force. Heaven-splitting earth. The imitation Pengu roared. Buzz. The heaven-splitting axe in the imitation Pengu's hand was not something Gu Hai could compare to. In the void, a heaven-like axe appeared and slashed down at Gu Hai. With just a glance at the heaven-like axe, one would feel like they were going to be destroyed. Moreover, it seemed to have sealed all directions of escape, leaving Gu Hai nowhere to run. Heaven-splitting earth. Gu Hai also shouted. With a ferocious expression, Gu Hai and the imitation Pengu's axe collided. Boom. There was a loud bang. Gu Hai's body was blasted thousands of miles away again. At this moment, Gu Hai also slashed at the imitation Pengu's back. The sneak attack was successful. Clang. The life-slaying saber slashed at the imitation Pengu's back, producing the sound of metal hitting stone. The imitation Pengu was not even moved from the spot by the saber. The huge impact actually sent Gu Hai flying backward. It was useless. There was not even a wound. No, there was not even a white mark on the imitation Pengu's body. This invincible physical body caused the people of the two immortal firmament realms to be shocked. The imitation Pengu was too strong. Gu Hai was so ferocious, but he was not a match for it. Not far away, 30 sneered. Gu Hai? Are you the commander of the two immortal domains who rebelled against me? You can't even reach Pengu's power, and you want to rebel against me? You've disappointed me. 30 stood in the polar region, but he looked at Gu Hai in the distance with a condescending look. The two Gu Hai represented the ultimate strength of all beings, but he could not even deal with the imitation Pengu, let alone 30. 30 sneered, but the imitation Pengu chased after Gu Hai again. Rumble. Gu Hai and the imitation Pengu fought fiercely in the void. However, the imitation Pengu had an overwhelming advantage and sent Gu Hai flying again and again. If Gu Hai's body was not invulnerable, he would have been blown to pieces. After fighting for a while, Gu Hai was still at his wits' end. 30 was also a little impatient. He sneered and gently patted the other coffin. Brr. In the coffin, the imitation torch dragon suddenly roared and opened its eyes. Go and help Pengu kill Gu Hai, 30 said indifferently. Roar. The imitation torch dragon swayed its body and rushed out. It could not even deal with one Pengu, and now there was another torch dragon? The beings of the two immortal domains were terrified. Chapter 13:10. The fake Pengu had already forced the two Gu Hai to retreat. Now there was another torch dragon? Everyone's eyes dimmed. The fake torch dragon roared with an aura that was no weaker than Pengu's. It opened its mouth and spat out a stream of cold air at Gu Hai. Boom. In the distance, Gu Hai and the fake Pengu clashed with their axes again. However, the fake Pengu was too strong. It was so strong that Gu Hai was almost instantly blown thousands of miles away. Thousands of miles away, the torch dragon spat out cold air. Its dragon claws were fierce, as if it could tear Gu Hai into pieces in an instant. Gu Hai was sent flying. His body shook, but it was still within his tolerance range. Seeing the torch dragon rushing over, Gu Hai did not hesitate and slashed at the torch dragon with his axe. Heaven and earth splitter. Gu Hai shouted. Hong. With a loud bang, everyone thought that Gu Hai was going to be blown away again. However, at this moment, a strange scene happened. Gu Hai was still standing in the same place. The torch dragon spat out cold air and there was a hole in its dragon claw. Of course, it was only the tip of the dragon claw that was broken. It was not a big wound, but hundreds of scales on its body were broken. The torch dragon was forced back hundreds of miles by the huge axe. Ah, what? Everyone widened their eyes. Could it be that the torch dragon was a fake? How could it be weaker than Gu Hai? What? In the distance, 30 was also surprised. In 30's eyes, the torch dragon and Pangu were the same strength. How could Gu Hai be chased by the fake Pangu and break the torch dragon's defense with one blow? Gu Hai naturally noticed that something was wrong. His expression changed. He put away the Pangu axe and punched at the torch dragon. The torch dragon roared angrily and slammed its claw at Gu Hai's fist. Boom! With a loud bang, Gu Hai was instantly blown thousands of miles away like a cannonball. What's going on? Didn't Gu Hai defeat the fake torch dragon just now? Why is it so far away now? Laozi said anxiously in the distance. I know. Is it Pangu's axe? The Pangu axe has a restraining effect on the torch dragon. Gu Hai's eyes lit up. Gu Hai immediately grabbed the Pangu axe and chopped at the fake torch dragon. On the other side, the fake Pangu also swung his axe. Boom. Gu Hai was instantly sent flying away by the Pangu fake strike, but torch dragon was once again sent flying away by the golden light released from the Pangu axe. Pangu's axe is the bane of the torch dragon? 30 narrowed his eyes. Ong. The torch dragon roared. Immediately, its crystal coffin transformed into a huge purple gourd. Gourd? Is this torch dragon's Dharma treasure? It looks very similar to the heaven-filling gourd. The Pangu axe in his hand swung down again. Boom. Even though the fake torch dragon had the gourd, a large number of dragon scales were still shattered in the collision. The fake torch dragon was no match for Gu Hai's Pangu axe? I know. The Pangu axe is a pure yang treasure. Like our immortal dome, it is a pure yang treasure. It specializes in restraining otherworldly items. The immortal dome where the torch dragon resides is a pure yin dome. It restrains yin with yang. Laozi's eyes lit up. Humph, even if you can restrain the torch dragon, there is still Pangu and Gu Hai. Let's see what you can do. 30 said coldly. At this moment, the fake Pangu hacked at Gu Hai with the sky-splitting axe again. This time, Gu Hai did not use the Pangu axe. Instead, he waved his hand. Buzz. The purple sky-splitting gourd suddenly appeared. The sky-splitting gourd shot out a beam of purple light at the sky-splitting axe like a laser beam. Hong. Under the purple light, the sky-splitting axe was knocked away. Whoosh. The people in the two immortal domes cheered. This was the first time the fake Pangu was defeated. The sky-splitting gourd? Why do you have the sky-splitting gourd? No, you fused 5 gourds. I thought they were fake. How is it possible? How can it be the real sky-splitting gourd? 30 said in shock and anger. The sky-splitting gourd could restrain the fake Pangu? The sky-splitting gourd? A purine treasure that can restrain young objects? The sky-splitting gourd can restrain the fake Pangu. Laozi's eyes lit up. The battle on the screen suddenly underwent an earth-shattering change. Gu Hai, who was being chased and beaten just now had the Pangu axe in one hand and the sky-splitting gourd in the other. He suppressed the fake Pangu and the fake torch dragon to the point that they could not fight back. The fake torch dragon's scales kept shattering, and the fake Pangu's body was burned by the flowing light spat out by the sky-splitting gourd again and again. Injuries bloomed on the two of them. Why? Why does the fake Pangu also have the sky-splitting axe and the fake torch dragon also have the gourd? Why are they restrained by Gu Hai? In the distance, Chi was stunned. Because the Pangu axe in my husband's hand is the real Pangu axe, and the sky-splitting gourd in your hand is the real sky-splitting gourd. Long Wanyu explained. What's the difference? Chi frowned. Of course it's different. The Pangu axe is a Pangu treasure, and the sky-splitting gourd is a torch dragon treasure. They were born together with the immortal dome. Our immortal dome is purine, and the sky-splitting gourd has purine effect. Although 30 copied the Pangu and the torch dragon, and even their magic treasures, he did not have the purine or pure yang effect. Although he was powerful, he lacked the attribute. Long Wanyu said with excitement. Chi nodded. 30's immortal dome. Long Zhanghua's eyes also lit up. I see. No wonder my sky-splitting axe is always lacking something compared to the Pangu axe. In the void, the battle continued. Gu Hai turned the tables and defeated the fake Pangu and the fake torch dragon with the sky-splitting gourd and the Pangu axe. 30 was in the distance, but his face was filled with anger. Break! Gu Hai shouted. Boom! The fake Pangu and the fake torch dragon were instantly sent flying. Under the fake torch dragon's dragon scales, a bloody wound that was 100 feet long bloomed. The fake Pangu's back was also shot by the purple light. Boom! At this moment, rolling black fog instantly surged toward the wound. It was Gu Hai who attacked at the same time. This wound also belonged to Gu Hai. Once the wound appeared, it meant that the infinite power could be used. The rolling little skulls instantly erupted and gnawed at it with all their might. Gu Hai revealed a look of great excitement. This was because this was the fake Pangu and the fake torch dragon. This was much more advanced than those eggs. It was created by 30 to completely copy the torch dragon and Pangu. The quality of its physical body could be said to be of the highest level. The skeleton Gu Hai's infinite power required him to devour higher-grade existences in order to become stronger and store more void power. If he devoured these two giant beasts, the strength of Gu Hai would definitely reach the strength of Gu Hai's original body or even better. Again? Gu Hai's original body laughed and used the Pangu axe and the sky-splitting gourd again. At this moment there was no suspense in the battle. More and more wounds appeared on the little skeleton's body. Get lost. Although the fake Pangu and the fake torch dragon were unparalleled in strength, they couldn't drive the little skeleton away like 30. Of course, the two's physical bodies were also tyrannical and dense, and the little skeleton couldn't eat them all in a short time. The scales of victory tilted in Gu Hai's favor again. Not far away, 30's face was ugly. He didn't expect that Gu Hai could reverse the situation in such a situation. Gu Hai, 30 said coldly. Gu Hai's original body continued to inflict heavy damage on the torch dragon and Pangu, but Gu Hai didn't move. He only needed to send more little skeleton to deal with the situation. Gu Hai looked at 30 and sneered, 30, do you have other fake Pangu? Fake torch dragon? Take them all out. Fake Pangu and torch dragon? Do you think they're easy to refine? After countless years he had only managed to refine these two. How could there be more? Gu Hai, your strength has indeed exceeded my expectations. I have an idea. 30 said solemnly. Oh. Gu Hai looked at 30. If you submit to me I will give you everything. When the two immortal domes merge and give birth to a new immortal dome I can even give you two. Solemnly 30 invited. Are you trying to recruit me? Gu Hai suddenly revealed a smile. The two immortal domes revealed a trace of nervousness. You can say that. What do you want? In the future I have everything. As long as you submit to me I can give you everything. Solemnly 30 said. 30, if I'm not crazy then you're crazy. At this time you want to recruit me? What a joke. Gu Hai revealed a cold smile and immediately rejected the offer. Ridiculous? What's so ridiculous about it? You can only restrain them because of Pangu's axe and heaven-filling gourd. I fought against them in the past. You're not my opponent. All life is about to die, what are you still reluctant to part with? 30 sneered. I haven't lost yet and neither will all life. Gu Hai said solemnly. Won't? Look at the two immortal domes, aren't all life about to lose? 30 pointed at the two immortal domes. First was 30's immortal dome. Laozi, Longzhonghua, Jesus, Shakyamuni, and Amitabha each blocked an egg beast, but they were barely holding on. As for Sun Wukong, he had just reached the peak and was slightly weaker than the others. At this moment he was repeatedly attacked by the egg beasts and was heavily injured. He was about to lose. At the immortal world's heavenly court, Takashi Ryushin could not stop the three golden-robed men. The three golden-robed men with soul seeds were equivalent to one egg beast, and they began a massacre. It shattered the numinous sky palace. With each attack, countless immortal world experts were killed. Soon countless lives were dying at their hands. Do you see that? 30's immortal dome is about to be destroyed. 30 sneered. Gu Hai looked at the image with a gloomy expression. On the image all life was indeed retreating. The three golden-robed men were killing everywhere, destroying one planet after another. Boom, boom, boom. When the battle was about to reach a huge planet, Gu Hai's expression suddenly changed. Taiwa Yulian, be careful. 30 also turned to look. At the center of the planet there was a palace, and Taiwa and Zhang Yulian were standing at the entrance of the palace. The two women were waiting for the battle. They each took out their weapons. Oh, that's Taiwa and Zhang Yulian? I remember now. The last time I caught an Arhat he said that you married two women here. So they are? So they are your wives? 30's eyes lit up. Capture the two of them alive. As for the rest, kill them. 31 ordered. Yes. The golden-robed men in the image responded. In the image Taiwa and Zhang Yulian were guarding a palace and they looked anxious. Don't let him hurt Taiwa. Taiwa said anxiously. Taiwa, hurry up and leave. Leave this place to me. Zhang Yulian was extremely anxious. No, Taiwa is in seclusion. He is your son and also my son. If you want to hurt my son you have to step over my dead body. Taiwa roared with red eyes. Chapter 13:11. 30 Immortal Skies. The three golden-robed men went on a killing spree, starting from the celestial court of the immortal world. Around the celestial court, there were several large stars, which were also the targets of the three golden-robed men's attention. When the three of them attacked, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. The group of peerless experts led by Takeshi Ryushin could not stop the three golden-robed men from wreaking havoc. In the blink of an eye, a golden-robed man charged onto a huge planet. A large number of experts were standing on this planet. However, it was very strange. The experts on this planet did not fight, nor did they flee. They only defended. At the center of the planet, the golden-robed man saw Taiwa and Zhang Yulian. Capture the two of them alive. As for the rest, kill them. 30's voice rang out. Yes. The golden-robed man replied. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at Taiwa and Zhang Yulian. Heaven and Earth Giant Cauldron Formation. Taiwa shouted. Buzz. The surrounding experts quickly formed a formation and a cyan formation was formed. At the center of the formation was a bronze cauldron that emitted a dazzling light. It was the source of the formation, providing endless energy to the formation. Zhang Yulian and Taiwa activated the formation with all their might. Boom. The giant palm slammed into the formation, causing it to tremble violently. That's all there is to it. I have the power bestowed upon me by the Heavenly Master. This little array. The golden-robed man sneered. The power in his palm suddenly increased. A loud noise suddenly rang out from the formation. Ka-ka-ka-ka-ka. Cracks began to appear on the formation. Even the bronze cauldron began to crack. Pooh. Pooh. Under the recoil of the formation, the people who were controlling the formation coughed up blood one after another. He fell into a pool of blood. Zhang Yulian and Taiwa each spat out a mouthful of blood. Obviously, the golden-robed man was too strong. Even if everyone worked together, they were still no match for him. In the void, 30 coldly laughed as he looked at Gu Hai. Gu Hai, if you submit to me now, it's not too late. I can guarantee the safety of your wife and children. How about it? When Gu Hai saw this, his expression turned ugly. Break. Honk. With a loud bang, the huge bronze cauldron that presided over the formation suddenly exploded. Pooh. Taiwa and Zhang Yulian immediately vomited blood and were sent flying, heavily injured. The golden-robed man's huge palm did not give up, and in an instant, it reached in front of the two girls. It looked like he was about to grab them. The two women couldn't resist at all. At this moment, a palm surrounded by black and white energy suddenly rushed out from the main hall that the two women were guarding. The black and white palm collided with the golden palm. Honk. With a loud bang, the void was instantly torn apart. The golden-robed man actually staggered and retreated more than 100 meters. What? The golden-robed man exclaimed in surprise. 30's eyes also widened. Among the 30 immortals, there was actually someone who could block the golden-robed man's attack. 30's face darkened. Bang. When the hall collapsed, Zhang Yulian and Taiwa fell to the ground. In the middle of the hall, a young man dressed in martial arts attire was exposed. Half of his hair was black while the other half was white. At this moment, a thick Tai Chi aura was emitted from his body. The young man stood up from the cushion and immediately flew in front of Zhang Yulian and Taiwa. Mom? Wake up, Mom. The young man hugged Zhang Yulian and said in fear. His hand pushed into Zhang Yulian's back. Zhang Yulian trembled slightly and woke up. The young man's other hand was behind Taiwa's back. Mom, wake up, Mom, who beat you up like this, Mom? The young man's entire body was emitting anger, and he continuously sent energy into Taiwa's body. Wong? Taiwa trembled slightly and also woke up. Tai Chi, I'm fine. Zhang Yulian vomited blood and said with a smile. Tai Chi, be careful. Taiwa also vomited blood and said. The young man was Zhang Yulian and Gu Hai's son, Gu Taiji. At this moment, he had just woken up from his seclusion and saw his two mothers being beaten to the point of vomiting blood. Gu Taiji was instantly enraged. Mom, wait here. I'll avenge you. I'll avenge you. Gu Taiji carefully leaned the two women against a big rock. At the same time, he drew a barrier around the two women to protect them. Gu Taiji stood up and looked at the golden-robed man not far away with a ferocious expression. You dare to hit my mom? You're courting death. Gu Taiji's expression was ferocious as he stomped his feet. Boom. Gu Taiji was like a cannonball and instantly arrived in front of the golden-robed man. Little thing, I don't need you to tell me who I want to kill. You're courting death. The golden-robed man snorted coldly and hit Gu Taiji with his palm. A huge palm energy appeared. Gu Taiji collided with it with his body. Boom. The huge palm energy hit Gu Taiji's chest with a loud bang. However, Gu Taiji's body was extremely sturdy and only trembled slightly. He allowed the palm energy to hit him. Gu Taiji's hands grabbed the golden-robed man's index finger energy in one hand and the middle finger energy in the other. Roar! Gu Taiji roared and suddenly tore. Rip! The golden-robed man's huge palm energy was torn vertically from his palm. The tearing force was so strong that it went straight for the golden-robed man. What? The golden-robed man's expression changed. Boom! The golden-robed man's right arm was torn in half. It was not a cross-section but a vertical section. The middle finger was torn all the way to the shoulder and blood spurted out. Ah, it hurts. Little thing, you're no match for me. I'm a gift from God. The golden-robed man was terrified. At this moment, Gu Taiji's eyes were red like a ferocious beast. That was for my mother. Next it's for my mother. Roar. Gu Taiji charged fiercely. The golden-robed man looked at Gu Taiji's ferocious face and his expression changed. At this moment, the thought of running away suddenly appeared in his mind. He immediately turned around and retreated into the distance. Where do you think you're going? Gu Taiji roared and rushed over even faster. In the void, 30's expression changed as he looked at Gu Hai. He's your son? Gu Hai looked at Gu Taiji's state and revealed a trace of laughter. Humph, the two of you capture Gu Hai's son for me? 30 shouted. In 30's immortal firmament, the other two golden-robed men were fighting on another planet. When they suddenly heard 30's voice, they immediately responded. From afar, they saw Gu Taiji chasing the golden-robed man with bloody arms and had already caught up. The two were entangled. Gu Taiji even grabbed the golden-robed man's leg with one hand. Brat, how dare you? How dare you? The two golden-robed men's expressions changed as they roared and rushed over. Gu Taiji roared. No. The golden-robed man with bloody arms screamed in agony as he saw Gu Taiji tear his legs apart vertically. In the two halves of his body, his 3 souls and 7 spirits exploded, and blood splattered in all directions. The golden-robed man who was fierce and invincible just a moment ago was now torn apart by Gu Taiji. Gu Taiji had fought countless battles in the god space set up by Long Jianghu. However, this had never made Gu Taiji so angry. Those were his 2 mothers, the people closest to him. They were beaten until they were covered in blood. Who could bear it if they were in his place? At this moment, Gu Taiji did not hold back and showed his violent side. Kill. He had to use the most ruthless method to make the bad guy pay the price. After killing one culprit, 2 more came? The 2 of them used all their strength from the beginning to kill Gu Taiji. Tai Chi Circle. Gu Taiji waved his hand. Whoosh. The 2 giant palms strangely deviated from Gu Taiji and collided with each other. Boom. The void shattered into countless pieces. Did you learn Tai Chi from me? Zhang Yulian said with a smile. What? The 2 golden-robed men's expressions changed. They saw Gu Taiji staring at one of them and instantly approaching. Brat, you're courting death. The golden-robed man struck with his palm. Great sage equal to heaven fist. Gu Taiji punched fiercely on the golden-robed man's head. The fist was incomparably fierce and fell like a meteor. No. The golden-robed man screamed. Although his palm landed on Gu Taiji's body, Gu Taiji's body was impenetrable. Although the golden-robed man's palm trembled, Gu Taiji's fist landed on the golden-robed man's head. Boom. With a loud sound, the golden-robed man's head exploded, and blood splattered everywhere. Although Sun Wukong was defeated by my husband, he taught me everything he knew about Tai Chi. Tai Wa's eyes flashed with satisfaction. Earlier, it was Long Jianghu's heaven-tearing hand that tore apart the first golden-robed man. Zhang Yulian exclaimed. In the blink of an eye, 2 golden-robed men died. The last golden-robed man revealed a horrified expression. In the blink of an eye, 2 of the 3 had died. Could he still defeat Sun Wukong? Gu Taiji would not show mercy. After killing the second golden-robed man, he instantly charged at the last golden-robed man. Brat, you're going against the heavenly master. You're dead meat. The golden-robed man shouted and turned to flee. Running? Bloomed the Prometha flower, Buddha's golden body. Gu Taiji roared. Buzz. A white Prometha flower suddenly appeared in the direction the golden-robed man was fleeing. Within the Prometha flower, a golden Buddha wielding a spear stabbed into the golden-robed man's chest. What? The golden-robed man grimaced as he thrust out a palm. Hong. The spear exploded along with the Buddha. However, the moment it exploded, it turned into countless holy light angels that surrounded the golden-robed man from all directions. The golden-robed man couldn't tell where he was from. Gu Taiji immediately rushed into the area covered by the angels of sacred light. God's sacred flame explosion. A roar came from within. Oh, Hong. With a boom, the area covered by the angels of sacred light suddenly exploded. As it exploded, many pieces of the golden-robed man were burned away by the sacred flame. Gu Taiji walked out of the angels of sacred light and flew toward Zhang Yulian and Taiwa. Jesus, Amitabha, and Shakyamuni have also taught Taiji to me. Taiwa chuckled. Mom, how are you? Gu Taiji anxiously rushed to the two women's side. Energy flowed into Gu Taiji's body. Taiji, haven't you always wanted to see your father? Zhang Yulian suddenly smiled. Father? Gu Taiji was taken aback. Excitement flashed through his eyes. Your father is up there. Taiwa pointed at the image above the immortal world. In the image, Gu Hai was in the middle of a confrontation. Gu Taiji raised his head and immediately saw the image in the distance. Chapter 13:12. Gu Taiji looked up and saw the scene in the sky above the immortal world. In the scene there were two Gu Hai. One Gu Hai was fighting the fake Pangu and the fake torch dragon with the Pangu axe and the heaven-filling gourd. The other Gu Hai was currently facing off against 30. Gu Taiji had seen Gu Hai's portrait and recognized him at a glance. Father? Is that his father? Gu Taiji, go and help Sun Wukong fight against the egg. Gu Hai shouted. Ah, yes. Gu Taiji shouted excitedly. Gu Taiji immediately looked at Zhang Yulian and Taiwa. Go, your father is fighting 30. All living beings in the immortal dome listened to his orders. Go quickly. Taiwa said. Don't worry about us, we are very safe. Go quickly. Zhang Yulian also shouted. Gu Taiji, we will protect your two mothers. Takashi Ryushin and the rest of the heavenly court people immediately flew over. Okay. Gu Taiji responded and rushed toward Sun Wukong in the distance. Sun Wukong was fighting Egg 2. Even though his body was invulnerable, he was now covered in blood and extremely weak. Die. Egg 2 punched Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong immediately punched back. Boom. Sun Wukong immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backward. Master. Gu Taiji shouted and immediately hugged Sun Wukong. Bang. Another one came to die. Egg 2 stared at him. Taiji? You came out of seclusion? Sun Wukong opened his eyes wide and looked at Gu Taiji in surprise. Yes, disciple has comprehended Master's 10 perfection mysterious technique. Gu Taiji said anxiously. Comprehended? Good, Master can't do it anymore. You go and help me deal with this monster. Sun Wukong said. Master, your body, how? Gu Taiji exclaimed. Sun Wukong wasn't a match for Egg 2, but he was holding back the anger in his heart. Even if he was heavily injured, he still had to block Egg 2. Now Gu Taiji had appeared. Sun Wukong knew that he could relax now. The breath in his heart was released, and he immediately softened, unable to move. I'm fine. I'll be fine after some rest. You go. Alright, take this. Your father asked me to bring this back. Keep it with you and wait for Gu Hai's orders. I can't do it anymore. You go for me. Don't lose my prestige. I, old son, don't want to fail in front of your father. Even if you replace me, you're not allowed to drop the ball. Sun Wukong grimaced. Gu Taiji took a small ball from Sun Wukong's hand and nodded solemnly. Catch my master, I'm going to fight. Gu Taiji shouted into the distance. In the distance, Erlang immediately rushed over and caught Sun Wukong. Brr. Gu Taiji carried a monstrous aura as he rushed toward Egg 2. Boom, boom, boom. Egg 2's strength wasn't something that the golden-robed man could compare to. Even if Gu Taiji was incomparably fierce, he could only temporarily suppress it. The battle of the 30 immortal firmaments seemed to have entered a state of equilibrium again. This made 30, who was in the void, gloomy. Your son? Hee, Gu Hai, even if your son is here, this immortal firmament is only a draw. 30 said coldly. It's not a draw. Gu Hai sneered. In the 30 immortal firmament, the Long Jianghu, who was in the middle of the battle, took a deep breath and said, Order all the revolutionary army to inform all living beings to destroy the 30 demons. Boom. Long Jianghu's voice instantly spread throughout the universe. At the same time, all kinds of starry sky loudspeakers continuously broadcast Long Jianghu's voice in all directions. On the major planets, There was a group of people who resisted the surveillance of the flying saucers and formed countless revolutionary armies. After receiving Long Jianghu's order, they quickly spread the news through loudspeakers. In the universe, countless Amitabha believers put their hands together and shouted, Amitabha Buddha. This group of people who were chanting Amitabha Buddha's name instantly lost their strength and rushed toward the immortal world's heavenly court. In the immortal world's heavenly court, there were patches of golden clouds like the golden dragon of providence of the six paths immortal firmament, absorbing countless amounts of energy from the depths of the universe. Rumble. The energy from the believers of Amitabha instantly surged into Amitabha's body. Countless believers of Jesus immediately shouted. Billowing energy immediately left their bodies and entered the immortal world's golden clouds, and then all of it entered Jesus's body. Long live, long live, long live. Countless believers of the Jade Emperor quickly sent their energy into Long Jianghu's body. Shakyamuni Buddha. Countless Buddhist disciples and lay Buddhists also sent their energy into Shakyamuni's body. Immeasurable Heavenly Lord. All the people who were chanting Immeasurable Heavenly Lord quickly sent their energy into Laozi's body. Battling Sacred Buddha. Great Sage Heaven's Equal. Countless amounts of energy rushed to the immortal world and then to Sun Wukong. By my order, my disciple Gu Taiji go. Sun Wukong shouted. Rumble. The billowing energy immediately rushed into Gu Taiji's body. In an instant, all the people in the 30 paths immortal firmament had a name. Under the guidance of countless revolutionary soldiers, the power of all living beings quickly surged toward the six overlords in battle. The situation of the 30 paths immortal firmament changed drastically in an instant. Although the power of all living beings was only equivalent to the power of one egg, the sudden increase of 1/6 in battle was still extremely terrifying. In particular, Gu Taiji was already suppressing Egg 2. Now, with this part of the power, it instantly exceeded what Egg 2 could withstand. After blocking Egg 2's punch with his chest, Gu Taiji slashed Egg 2's arm. Boom. With a super loud sound, Egg 2's right arm was broken by Gu Taiji. Egg 2 cried out in pain. Splitting heaven and earth. Long Jianghu's roar came from afar. Honk. With a loud sound, half of the head of the egg beast that Long Jianghu was fighting exploded. Cheers came from the 30 paths immortal firmament. Laozi, Jesus, Shakyamuni, and Amitabha were the same. They were all heavily injured by the egg beast. The egg beast cried out miserably. The battle had already shown a clear trend. On the side of the egg beast, it was defeated. In the depths of the void. 30's face was gloomy. 30, you saw it too. The power of all living beings is endless. No matter which immortal firmament it is, when their power is combined, no one will be their opponent. Gu Hai said in a low voice. The immortal firmament here is just one more variable, Gu Taiji. Combined? So what if it's combined? If I spit out a few more egg beasts, can they stop it? 30 revealed a cold smile. With me here you can't spit it out. Gu Hai revealed a cold smile. You? 30 said coldly. Moreover, do you really think that it's useful to have more egg beasts? Your egg beast army has already been routed 1,000 miles. Gu Hai said with a cold smile. 1,000 miles of collapse? Haha, Gu Hai, are you confused by your son? With Gu Taiji here, the battle situation has indeed changed, but what about the immortal firmament over there? What's the use of gathering all the power and still being in a disadvantageous situation? There's no more power over there to borrow. 30 pointed at the 6 paths immortal firmament. In the 6 paths immortal firmament, the 5 cultivators each blocked an egg beast. However, Egg 11 suppressed the 4 great sword cultivators. Just like Sun Wukong of the 30 paths immortal firmament, the 4 of them formed the immortal slaying sword formation, but still couldn't trap Egg 11. Egg 11's ferocity in his sword Dao was 30's sword Dao. The number 1 sword Dao in the world? 30 dominated the 2 great immortal firmament. What he gave Egg 11 was his own sword Dao. Its power was tyrannical, and even the 4 great sword cultivators were slightly inferior. At this moment, all the sword chi clones in the immortal slaying sword formation were crushed. It seemed that the 4 great sword cultivators were about to die under Egg 11's sword. Once the 4 great sword cultivators were defeated, the 6 paths immortal firmament was completely lost. After all, the living beings of the 6 paths immortal firmament had already lent all their power to Hichu. Was the 6 paths immortal firmament about to be destroyed? Die. Egg 11 roared. 4 golden sword lights appeared on the dragon's body and instantly pierced towards the faces of Zhang Sanfeng, Invincible Dongfang, Duguqiubai and Shimenchueshua. The four of them were about to be destroyed. Xing. In the land of the South Sea where the sword pavilion was located, a sword edge instantly soared into the sky. Boom. The cyan sword pierced out and immediately shattered Egg 11's four sword lights. What? Egg 11's expression changed. At this moment, there was an additional green sword lotus in the Immortals slaying sword formation. On the sword lotus was the master of Wanshou Taoism, Shi. Master, you've recovered? Invincible Dongfang's eyes lit up. I've recovered and even fused our sword cultivation. I was wrong. Our sword Dao is not the pinnacle. The sword has no limits. As long as we develop, we can always be stronger. Qi stared. Xing. He waved the bronze sword in his hand. Boom. In the immortal slaying sword formation, hundreds of millions of green sword lotuses instantly appeared. Together with Qi, they instantly slashed towards Egg 11. You're courting death. The sword-shaped dragon scales on Egg 11's back stood up as he slammed over. Boom. Hundreds of millions of sword lotuses exploded, instantly causing Egg 11 to be heavily injured. Impossible. My sword Dao is Master's sword Dao. No one can compare to it. Egg 11 said in shock and anger. 30 sword Dao is indeed powerful, but you're not 30 after all. Qi said with a cold expression. Boom. With Qi as the center, a storm of sword Qi instantly drowned everything in the surroundings. Kill. Kill. Trap. Exterminate. The roars of the four great sword cultivators came from the storm of sword Qi. Dao. Qi shouted. No. Egg 11's desperate roar came from the storm of sword Qi. Then the entire storm of sword Qi exploded with a loud bang. Hong. The explosion tore apart the boundless void. Everyone stared with wide eyes. When the broken sword Qi in the surroundings dissipated, everyone could see the inside clearly. Egg 11's huge sword-shaped dragon body had already been split into countless pieces. The five great sword cultivators stood in the black hole, their bodies trembling. Master, just now was that the sword Dao? Zhang Sanfeng said with a trace of excitement. That's right. We've succeeded. Using the sword to create cultivation, using the sword to achieve the Dao. This is just the beginning. We still have a lot of paths to walk in the future. Now follow me and help the others kill the demons. Qi shouted. Yes. The four great sword cultivators responded. The Six Paths Immortal Dome's battle situation changed drastically. With the addition of the five great sword cultivators, the entire battle situation was one-sided. The five of them were the first to rush towards Jiangchen. In just a short while they killed Egg 1. Jiangchen was freed. The entire situation had changed drastically. Jiangchen went to help Changming. The five great sword cultivators went to help Hichu. After a fierce battle. Boom 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 boom. Another four loud sounds rang out. The remaining four egg beasts all exploded at almost the same time. Fuxi destroyed an egg beast. Old Man Guanxi destroyed an egg beast. Jiangchen and Changming destroyed an egg beast. The five great sword cultivators and Hichu also destroyed an egg beast. The entire Six Paths Immortal Dome's egg beasts were all cleared. Boom 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 boom. After the addition of the power of all living beings, a series of loud sounds also came from the 30 immortal dominions. The egg beasts exploded one after another. The 30 immortal dominions were all wiped out. Chapter 13:13. Under the 12 rainbow bridges, the 12 spawn beasts were all annihilated. All the living beings cheered, but 30 revealed an icy expression. Did you see that? 30, you will not win if you go against everyone. You were once one of them, so it's not too late to turn back now. Nangong advised. Ha ha ha, turn back? 30 revealed a disdainful sneer. Guhai looked at 30 coldly. Turn back? Guhai, do you know how laughable your words are? I was once one of them? How can a sparrow know the ambitions of a swan? Other than me, you all only know how to sit and wait for death. You live your entire lives and then you die. Is that enough? 30 sneered. Life and death is the cycle of the heavenly Tao. Guhai said solemnly. Humph, the cycle of the heavenly Tao, why do you want to cultivate to increase your lifespan? Laughable, extremely laughable. The immortal firmament also has a lifespan. When the immortal firmament reaches the end of its lifespan, it will be destroyed. You all don't have the ability to live forever, but I do. 30 said coldly. Your eternal life is built on the basis of destroying all life. Although all life's cultivation and status are not as good as yours as the essence of life, there is no difference between the noble and the lowly. What right do you have to decide the fate of all life? To destroy all life for your immortality plan? Gu Hai said coldly. Right? My strength is my right. Torch Dragon told me that back then, but didn't he still die at my hands? Gu Hai, you want to use Torch Dragon's words to teach me a lesson? You are not qualified. 30 said coldly. Speaking of Torch Dragon, haha, I only found out recently that you were created by Torch Dragon. Torch Dragon was your parent, but you killed him. Talking about human nature with you is like playing the lute to a cow. Gu Hai said darkly. I killed him because he didn't listen to me. He said that I was his pride, that he would teach me everything. He went back on his words, he didn't mean what he said. Since he didn't mean what he said, I can only do it myself. I've already obtained everything in Torch Dragon. All that's left is this infinite force. 30 said coldly. As he spoke, 30 moved. He extended his hand and clawed at Gu Hai. Under the immense power, 30 suddenly sealed off all directions, and a huge claw shot towards Skeleton Gu Hai. Skeleton Gu Hai's expression changed as it retreated. Dodge. There was simply no way to avoid it. Because right now, 30 was the most invincible existence. Boom. With a loud bang, the Skeleton Gu Hai instantly exploded. He was no match for 30. Let's see how many times you can reincarnate. 30's expression turned cold. Creation of heaven and earth. A thunderous roar came from the spot where Gu Hai exploded. It was Gu Hai himself who had freed himself from the imposter Pangu and imposter Torch Dragon, hacking at 30 with his axe. With a cold snort, 31 clenched his hand into a claw and transformed it into a fist energy that struck forward. Hong. With the two of them as the center, a huge sea of energy spread out in all directions. The fist energy and Pangu's axe collided. Gu Hai's body struck 30's fist energy. This time, the fist energy and Pangu's axe were in a deadlock. Waves of energy spread out in all directions. On the other side, a cloud of black energy gathered, and Skeleton Gu Hai was resurrected. However, this time there were some injuries on his body. The resurrected Gu Hai immediately blocked the imposter Pangu and imposter Torch Dragon. At this moment, the two of them were surrounded by countless small skeletons. Their combat strength was greatly reduced as they painfully tore at the small skeletons. With Gu Hai's body, it was easy for him to stop the two of them. Gu Hai held back the imposter Pangu and imposter Torch Dragon, giving Gu Hai some space to fight with 30. Using Pangu's axe has increased my strength by a lot, but this is still not enough. 30 sneered. Light of destruction. Gu Hai shouted again. Buzz. A beam of purple light shot out of the sky, filling gourd toward 30. With a cold snort, 31 brazenly struck down with his other fist. Hong. The other fist collided with the light of destruction from the sky, filling gourd. Another wave of energy spread out in all directions. Gu Hai pushed Pangu's axe and the sky-filling gourd to their limits. However, the power of these two artifacts was still unable to injure 30. In fact, 30 even looked at Gu Hai with ease. That's all? Haha, using Pangu's axe and the sky-filling gourd at the same time barely matches Pangu's strength. However, I've long surpassed Pangu. Don't you know? 30 sneered. As he sneered, a ferocious expression appeared on 30's face as he exerted strength in his fists. The two forces slammed into Gu Hai. Gu Hai spat out a mouthful of blood from the impact. What was more dangerous was that a crack suddenly appeared on Pangu's axe. Crack. The crack slowly expanded. One crack became two cracks became 16, and more cracks appeared. It wasn't just Pangu's axe. A crack suddenly appeared on the sky-filling gourd as well. Crack, crack, crack. The crack spread rapidly and more cracks appeared. In the blink of an eye, Pangu's axe and the sky-filling gourd had shattered into countless pieces. At this moment, all the living beings in the two immortal domes were terrified. Once Gu Hai was defeated, all living beings in the two immortal domes would be finished. Crack, crack. Cracks covered the two artifacts. 30 sneered, Gu Hai, you've lost. Not yet. Gu Hai still didn't back down. Buzz. Then the Pangu axe and the heaven-sealing gourd suddenly turned liquid, looking like white and black liquid as they slowly flowed into Gu Hai's body. As the black and white energy flowed into Gu Hai's body, Gu Hai's aura increased again. Behind Gu Hai, two huge phantoms slowly appeared. Pangu and Torch Dragon? There's a trace of Pangu's willpower in Pangu's axe? There's a trace of Torch Dragon's willpower in the sky-filling gourd? Pangu's axe and the sky-filling gourd completely recognize you as their master? Merge with you? 30's expression changed. Boom. 30 gritted his teeth and exerted force, sending Gu Hai flying into the distance. So what if they merge? Earlier, when the Pangu axe and the Heaven Storing Gourd were in perfect condition, they were not a match for me. Now the Pangu axe and the Heaven Storing Gourd are destroyed. You want to fight me with just a strand of your wills? Pangu's axe and the Sky-Filling Gourd can only strengthen your body at most. Gu Hai, you've already lost Dozhan's artifact. Your end is here. 30 revealed a cold expression. This time, 30 took the initiative to attack. He stretched out his hand and retracted it. Above the retracted fist, there was a black and a white power wrapped around it. I've already refined everything of Pangu and Torch Dragon. Gu Hai, this punch will definitely kill you. 30 said coldly. As he said that, he threw a punch. The fist moved very slowly. However, this very slow fist gave off an irresistible feeling. After locking onto Gu Hai, the fist smashed over brazenly. This was 30's full strength. This time he wanted to completely destroy Gu Hai. Without Pangu's axe and the Sky-Filling Gourd, Gu Hai would definitely die. Without Pangu's axe and the Sky-Filling Gourd, Gu Hai still had the life-extinguishing saber. Gu Hai flipped his hand and took out the purple life-extinguishing saber. Pangu's axe belonged to Pangu. The Sky-Filling Gourd belonged to Torch Dragon. The life-extinguishing saber was Gu Hai's artifact. It was also Gu Hai's most powerful artifact. Gu Hai's most powerful technique could only be executed by the life-extinguishing saber. 11th Zhou. Gu Hai shouted. With Gu Hai as the center, an invincible energy saber appeared in the void around him. The energy saber was black and white. It carried the profundity of Go as it slashed toward 30's fist. The might of the 11th Zhou was no weaker than Pangu's axe. It instantly collided with 30's fist. Boom. The energy saber collided with the fist. However, 30's might was too strong. Even the 11th Zhou was not enough. However, Gu Hai raised his life-extinguishing saber. The energy saber was still blocking the fist. The energy saber that left the saber stunned 30. 11th Heavenly Cycle. Gu Hai shouted again. Boom. The second black and white energy saber collided with 30's fist. 11th Zhou? 30 was slightly taken aback. This was the might of two heaven-splitting axes. No, Gu Hai had 9. The cycle saber technique was related to Go power as well as the Go soul. Right now, Gu Hai had 9 Go souls. When he used the energy of each Go soul, he could send out 11 cycles. 11th cycle. 11th cycle. 11th cycle. 11th cycle. Boom. 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 He unleashed a series of cycle saber techniques. The power of 11th Zhou collided with 30's fist. Finally, he managed to block 30's fist. 30's fist was unable to advance even an inch further. Impossible. You think you can stop me? How can your body withstand my attack? 30 said in shock and anger. Crack. A crack appeared on Gu Hai's shoulder because of the terrifying power. However, the Torch Dragon and Pangu's silhouettes behind him merged into the crack and helped Gu Hai's body recover. 9 cycles of Heavenly Cycle 10 was equivalent to 9 Pangu's axes chopping down. Right now, the power of Gu Hai was rippling out like a gigantic tsunami. Gu Hai blocked 30's attack with one life-ending saber. 30's face darkened. He did not believe it. However, at this moment, 30's fist was indeed unable to advance even an inch further. 30, is this your limit? However, I don't have one yet. Gu Hai revealed a cold smile. What did you say? 30's eyes widened. Heaven-suppressing divine imperial seal. Gu Hai shouted. The imperial seal flew out of Gu Hai's glabella. Gu Hai's imperial seal flew out, suppressing 11 heavenly cycles. Gu Hai shouted. The black heavenly Go chess on the heaven-suppressing divine imperial seal shone with a dazzling black light. In an instant, it formed a boundless chessboard that shot toward the 9 energy sabers. Rumble. Under the heaven-suppressing divine imperial seal, the 9 energy sabers slowly merged into one. Boom. The energy sabers instantly enlarged by more than 100 times. Under the terrifying power, 30 was forced to take a step back. Merging 9 into 1? 30's eyes widened. This is called 12th Zhou. Gu Hai's eyes widened. Chapter 13-14. Cycle 12. The terrifying energy saber seemed to have the power to destroy the world. Even 30 was forced to retreat. As he retreated, the golden robe on 30's body slowly burst apart under the ferocious shockwave of power. Of course, No one noticed that cracks had appeared on Gu Hai's back because the energy was too terrifying. Gu Hai himself had to bear the brunt of the energy. If Pangu's axe and the sky-filling gourd had not merged with Gu Hai's body, Gu Hai would not have been able to bear the violent energy. Gu Hai forced 30 to retreat step by step. At this moment, the people in the two immortal firmaments cheered because the invincible 30 was finally showing signs of weakness. It was not the army of eggs but 30 himself. He was slowly being forced back by Gu Hai. 30 looked at Gu Hai with a ferocious expression. However, he could not stop Gu Hai at this moment. His arm trembled slightly. 30 knew that as soon as the energy in his arm collapsed, Gu Hai's energy saber would cut him in half. The illusory figures of Pangu and the torch dragon stood behind Gu Hai. As Gu Hai stepped forward step by step, the ferocious look in his eyes made it seem like the two dragons were here for revenge. 30, this time you've lost. Gu Hai's expression was ferocious. Gu Hai could feel that as long as 30 showed the slightest sign of weakness, he would be able to kill him. The scales of victory were completely tilted in Gu Hai's favor. I've lost? I won't lose. I've killed the torch dragon and Pangu. You, Gu Hai. 30's expression was ferocious. In the midst of his ferocious expression, 30's body suddenly swelled. Rumble. 30's fist turned into a dragon's claw, and his body swelled into the shape of a huge golden dragon. The three-headed golden dragon exuded a violent aura. 30 revealed his true form. The middle head was golden, while the left and right heads were white and black, representing Pangu's power and Torch Dragon's power. Translator, Henyi Translations Editor. Henyi Translations. The powers of Pangu and Torch Dragon merged, reaching a new height. Ong, ong, ong. The three dragons roared at the same time. Their heads collided with the energy sabers. 30 of their powers erupted. Ka ka ka. The manifested saber gave off a buzzing sound as it blocked Gu Hai's life-punishing saber. Balance was once again achieved. Gu Hai, no one has ever forced me to do this before. What? Why did Torch Dragon and Pangu give you everything they have? Why did they give you everything they had? All of them are mine. 30 roared ferociously. Gu Hai's face darkened. After 12 cycles he was unable to advance any further. When 30 returned to his original form, his power was actually on par with him. 30 was also extremely depressed at this moment. How many years had it taken him to get to where he was today? And yet, Gu Hai had achieved it in just a few short decades? 30 unleashed his power as he roared. The three dragon heads spat out laser-like energy. However, the energy sabers of 12 heavenly cycles sealed off everything and blocked all of 30 heavenly cycles' power. Gu Hai, you've got some tricks up your sleeve. You're right, I can't do anything to you, but you've also reached your limit. Let's see who can outlast who. 30 said with a ferocious expression. Limit? That's right, I've reached my limit, but not everyone. You're making an enemy out of everyone. I'm not the only one fighting you. Gu Hai said with a ferocious expression. Everyone? Can they come here? 30 said ferociously. How do you know they can't? Gu Hai said with a sneer. Open the passage. Lend me your power. Gu Hai shouted. At this moment, 30's powerhouses who had just defeated the eggs took out a small ball. Buzz. Long Zhanghua, Laozi, Shakyamuni, Amitabha, and Jesus raised a small ball. Gu Taiji was slightly taken aback. He did not know what they were doing. Taiji, quick, learn from them. The weakened Sun Wukong said anxiously. Earlier, Sun Wukong had given a small ball to Gu Taiji. Gu Taiji immediately took it out. At the same time, in the 6 paths immortal dome, the 5 golden dragons of the life, fortune, and divine prose each took out a small ball. Zhang Sanfeng took out a small ball as well. 30's expression changed when he saw the small ball on the screen. That's the path you wanted Jiangchen to refine for you? Exclaimed 30, his expression changing. That's right. That's the path. Gu Hai said solemnly. Crush the barrier and give me all your strength. Gu Hai shouted. Boom, boom. Smack, smack, smack. Everyone quickly crushed the small balls. In an instant, a hole appeared in front of everyone. In an instant, 12 faintly discernible holes appeared on Gu Hai's back. My power, go. Long Zhanghua faced the hole and suddenly urged his power. His palms seemed to have crossed an endless distance and reached Gu Hai's back, pressing on Gu Hai's back. Boom. Long Zhanghua's power was the first to enter Gu Hai's body. My power, go. Laozi, Jesus, Shakyamuni, Amitabha, Gu Taiji, and the 5 dragons of the life, fortune, and divine prose, the 5 great sword cultivators, immediately passed through the passage and pressed their power on Gu Hai's back. Gu Hai's back clothes were torn, revealing the appearance of a golden dragon on his back. The appearance of the golden dragon was carved with the help of Long Wanyu. This was the mark of the golden dragon of luck, which could absorb the power of all living beings. However, this golden dragon mark did not need to absorb the power of all living beings. It only needed to absorb the power on its body. Rumble. The power of Long Zhanghua and the others immediately surged into Gu Hai's body. In an instant, Long Zhanghua's body went limp and fell to the ground. Long Zhanghua had transferred all of his power to Gu Hai. The power of the others was also transferred to Gu Hai. Boom. Waves after waves of shock waves spread out, instantly shattering the 12 paths. The 12 entrances also disappeared abruptly. At this moment, Gu Hai had gathered all the power of the 2 celestial domes. Although omniscient strength was still inferior to 30, when it was applied to Gu Hai, it instantly allowed Gu Hai to suppress 30. Rumble. With a series of loud noises, the life extinguisher saber moved again. A huge energy saber slashed at the 3 dragons. No. 30 opened his eyes wide and roared. At this moment, 30 had already used all his strength. However, he was still no match for Gu Hai's life extinguisher saber. The outcome was already decided. 30 looked at Gu Hai in horror. Gu Hai's eyes were burning with flames at this moment. Energy flowed out of his body like a huge sun spewing endless heat. What 30 did not see was that spiderweb-like cracks had appeared on Gu Hai's back. Even Gu Hai himself could not withstand this power. When the other beings saw this, they all looked anxious and worried. "Husband, you must be fine." Taiwa and Zhang Yulian prayed anxiously. 30, today is the day you die. Gu Hai pushed toward 30 with all his might. The energy saber of the life extinguisher saber had already reached 30's golden head. It looked like 30's head would be cut off soon. Am I going to lose? A look of despair appeared on 30's face. He looked at Gu Hai as though he was no longer alone. The silhouettes of Pangu and the torch dragon stood behind Gu Hai. In fact, 30 even saw 2 beings from the immortal dome standing behind Gu Hai. Gu Hai alone had mobilized the power of all living beings. He carried the hatred of all living beings. It seemed like he would kill 30 at any moment. "No, you bunch of short-sighted ants. I'm going to create eternal life. Without me, all of you will still die." 30 roared in despair. 30, you've lost. Gu Hai said coldly. Rumble. The energy saber landed on the golden dragon head. In an instant, a cut appeared on the dragon head's scalp. The energy saber went from the scalp to the depths of the dragon head. In the next moment. However, 30 was unwilling. He was extremely unwilling. "Gu Hai, I didn't lose to you. I lost to all living beings. If you didn't mobilize all living beings, you wouldn't be a match for me. I'm the strongest." A look of despair appeared on 30's face. Boom. At this moment, another blood-red saber landed on 30's back. What? 30's expression changed. It was the skeleton Gu Hai. He had just finished devouring the fake Pangu and fake torch dragon. Gu Hai's strength instantly reached the level of his original body. He slashed out with the 11 strokes of heavenly cycle. The boundless power of the void instantly cut through 30's back. Rumble. The terrifying power of the void was strangling 30's body. A look of horror appeared on 30's face. "How did you break through my defense? How did you do that? Your original body can only do that by mobilizing the power of all living beings. How did you do that?" 30's 3 heads were filled with disbelief. "Gathering the power of the infinite gives me unlimited possibilities. After devouring the imitation Pangu and the imitation torch dragon, I can reach their heights. I can already break through your physical body. Now I can still devour you." Skeleton Gu Hai sneered. The rolling skulls instantly rushed into 30's body through the hole made by the life-slaying saber. Rumble. Gu Hai was able to severely injure 30. In an instant, he looked at Gu Hai's main body in front of him. Ha 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 ha. 30 revealed a mournful expression. Gu Hai's original body had surpassed him. 30 could still be attributed to the power of all living beings, but now the skeleton Gu Hai had also reached this height. 30 had no more strength to win. At this moment, 30 suddenly felt a deep sense of powerlessness. Defeated? I lost? You don't know, but I killed all living things to save the 2 immortal firmaments. The immortal firmaments are the foundation of everything. In another 1,000,000 years, the immortal firmaments will run out of lifespan. You don't know. If the yin-yang immortal dome could not merge, everything would be annihilated and turned into nothingness. It's all gone. 30 looked at Gu Hai with hatred in his eyes. The Life Slayer saber slowly cut into 30's glabella. 30's head was about to be split in half. Although 30 was about to lose, the hatred in his eyes did not diminish. However, at this moment, behind Gu Hai, the Torch Dragon's phantom trembled slightly. 30, all things are predestined. Gu Hai's expression suddenly changed. The phantom spoke? I am a remnant of the Torch Dragon's will in the sky-sealing gourd. I was already scattered, but your power allowed me to reform a trace. 30. You fear nothingness. Do you think that everything will come to an end if the immortal dome is destroyed? No, fate comes and goes. The destruction of one immortal dome is just the beginning of another. The Torch Dragon's phantom said. You lied to me. 30 stared at the Torch Dragon's phantom and roared. Nothingness is infinite, and the immortal dome is Taiji. Infinite gives birth to Taiji. When the immortal dome is gone, and there is only nothingness left in the nothingness, a new immortal dome will be born. The Torch Dragon's phantom sighed. How long will that take? Torch Dragon. How long will it take to rebirth the immortal dome from the nothingness? Will take too long. By then all living beings will be completely destroyed. What's the difference between that and being killed by me? At the very least, I can make the immortal dome grow and multiply endlessly. 30 glared. That's why I created the power of infinite. It can allow people to live in the nothingness. The Torch Dragon's phantom sighed. The power of infinite? 30's expression changed. This is a backup plan I left for all living beings. I was going to teach it to you or even to everyone so that all living beings can escape the destruction of the immortal dome and wait for the next birth of the immortal dome so that all of you can live in the nothingness. However, your ambition scared me, so I didn't pass it on to you. The Torch Dragon's phantom sighed. My ambition? 30's eyelids twitched. Yes, your ambition. You were my pride, but I didn't expect your ambition to be so great. You want to rule everything. You don't just want to protect the immortal dome, you want to rule it. All living beings are equal. Although they are weak, they are also children of the Tao, children born of the immortal dome. Just like me, you want to control their destiny, so I didn't pass on the power of infinite to you. 30, you have only yourself to blame for this. The Torch Dragon's phantom trembled slightly. You were the one who refused to pass it on to me. It was you. 30 stared at the Torch Dragon's phantom and roared. However, the Torch Dragon's phantom trembled, and the remnant will that had just condensed dissipated again. Come out and explain yourself. 30 roared. However, the Torch Dragon's remnant will had already dissipated, and no one answered him. A just cause attracts much support, while an unjust cause finds little support. 30 All you want is to rule forever. You only want rights, not obligations. That's why you lost. Don't use protecting the immortal dome as an excuse. That's not your excuse. All living beings don't need you. The immortal dome doesn't need you. No one needs you. Gu Hai shouted. Rumble. The Life Slayer saber slashed into his head again, reaching his neck. The Life Slayer saber also made a huge cut on his back, which Little Skull gnawed on madly. Both Gu Hai's real body and the skeleton Gu Hai could kill 30 on their own now. 30 had lost, and it was a crushing defeat. The battle was over, and 30 could no longer resist. Roar. Long live his holiness. Kill the demon. Kill. The two immortal domes were filled with cheers. 30's death was right in front of them. 30 trembled all over. His dragon claws and dragon head were sealed by the Life Slayer saber, and he was about to be destroyed. Ha 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 ha, Gu Hai, I lost, but you didn't win either. I want you to get nothing. All living beings? Even if I die, I want all of you to die with me. 30 snarled. With a ferocious expression, 30's body suddenly emitted golden flames. Oh no, he's activating all his potential. He's going to self-destruct. Husband, be careful. Long Wanyu shouted in the infinite celestial capital. What? Gu Hai's expression changed. If we're going to die, we'll die together. 30's body was burning in golden flames, and a terrifying force exploded in all directions. Bastard. The two Gu Hai shouted at the same time. Hong. A super explosion sounded, and endless flames burst out. 30 self-destructed, and the force of the explosion blew the two Gu Hai apart. However, it did not hurt Gu Hai, and the two Gu Hai were shocked and angry. Bastard, 30, what did you do? The two Gu Hai shouted and rushed over. However, it was too late. 30 had exploded, and two forces entered Gu Hai's body. However, the other explosive force entered the 12 rainbow bridges. It followed the 12 rainbow bridges and rushed to the two immortal domes. Be careful. Gu Hai shouted. Everyone knew it was bad. However, it was too late. This time, 30 self-destruction was too strong and too fast. It reached the two immortal domes in an instant. Hong. Hong. Almost at the same time, the two immortal domes let out a loud sound that surpassed everything. Countless people were instantly knocked unconscious. Looking from afar, the two spherical immortal domes were torn into pieces. The power of 30 self-destruction was too strong, so strong that the immortal domes could not withstand it. In an instant, endless void power surged toward the two immortal domes. The immortal domes were shattered, and there was no longer the protection of the primordial chaos. The entire world was about to be destroyed. If you want to die, die together. 30's voice seemed to echo in the two immortal domes. No. Countless desperate voices came from the two immortal domes. The immortal domes were shattered, and the foundation of all existence was gone. Everyone was finished, and they were about to be finished. All living beings fought for everything. In the end, were they going to be buried with 30? Wanyu, use the ancient immortal domes I gave you quickly. Gu Hai shouted. His voice spread to the 6 immortal domes. Long Wanyu was knocked unconscious by the loud sound just now. However, when Gu Hai shouted, she immediately woke up. Ancient immortal domes? Ancient immortal domes? Long Wanyu quickly took out the ancient immortal domes. Long Wanyu reached out and threw it into the sky. Collect, collect, collect. Gu Hai shouted. Rumble. The entire 6 immortal domes fragment was merging into the ancient immortal domes. The ancient immortal domes' 3,000 great Daos were already complete. If it was not complete, it would not be able to withstand such a huge volume of the 6 immortal domes. All living beings were knocked unconscious and killed. However, as long as they were alive or awake, they were excited when they saw the ancient immortal domes crazily devouring the 6 immortal domes fragment. Because the ancient immortal domes seemed to be the last refuge, the last glimmer of hope. Rumble. The two Gu Hai did not hesitate and instantly rushed in the direction of 30's immortal domes. Although there was no rainbow bridge, the skeleton Gu Hai had the power of Wuji and could find the direction. It protected the main body along the way and was incomparably smooth. Rumble. With extreme speed, the two Gu Hai arrived at 30's immortal domes in a short time. The skeleton Gu Hai kept absorbing the void power that was pouring into 30's immortal domes. Although it could not block everything, it could block a little bit. Lousy, your lesser immortal domes, hurry up and save as many people as you can. Give it to me. Gu Hai roared. Lesser immortal domes? It was indeed a little like the immortal domes of the past that could only hold people. Everyone quickly took out 3,000. Gu Hai quickly activated it and absorbed countless planets. However, the immortal domes of this immortal domes were not big and could not hold too many. Long Jianghu, the road to the 6 immortal domes. Gu Hai shouted. That road was the one that Gu Qin and Mo Yike had told Long Jianghu about. It was also the road that Gu Hai had taken to the 2 immortal domes. Long Jianghu quickly took out a white chessboard. Wang. Gu Hai slightly activated it. However, there was no reaction from the other side. Gu Hai waited anxiously. Without the rainbow bridge, Gu Hai could no longer find the 6 immortal domes. He could not even go back. He could only rely on this road. Finally, after 3 days. Buzz. The other side of the road opened. Husband, we have absorbed all of it. Long Wanyu shouted from the other side. Old man Guanchi was hosting the heavenly go chess. Gu Qin and Mo Yike pointed out the direction and found the intersection. Come here quickly. Gu Hai shouted. Okay. Long Wanyu said excitedly. Everyone else entered the bubble in Long Wanyu's palm. Long Wanyu rushed over. Who? Long Wanyu came over. This path also disappeared in an instant. Husband here. Long Wanyu immediately handed over the immortal dome of the ancients. Withdraw. Gu Hai shouted. Rumble. The 30 fragments of the immortal dome were quickly absorbed into the immortal dome of the ancients. The ancient immortal dome's devouring speed was incomparably fast. It took Gu Hai 3 days and 3 nights to completely absorb the entire universe. When everyone was sucked in, the immortal dome of the ancients turned black and white, as if it was a fusion of yin and yang. The two Gu Hai glanced at each other. The immortal dome of the ancients is a combination of the fragments of the 6 Daos immortal dome and the 30 immortal dome. I wonder if it can exist in the void. Gu Hai said worriedly. The two Gu Hai glanced at each other. In the end, they tried to carefully place him into nothingness. Buzz. The surging power of nothingness instantly impacted the immortal dome of the ancients. However, inside the immortal dome of the ancients, waves of power surged out, resisting the power of nothingness. Rumble. The immortal dome of the ancients slowly expanded, gradually reaching the original size of the 30 immortal dome. Then, it expanded again until it reached the size of 330 immortal domes before stopping. The immortal dome of the ancients stopped in the void and was not shattered by the power of nothingness. Success, success? Gu Hai's eyes lit up. That was close, that was close. Fortunately, in the heavenly Tao reincarnation, the 3,000 great Tao were replenished. Otherwise, the immortal dome of the ancients wouldn't be able to withstand the fusion of two immortal domes. Gu Hai sighed. The two Gu Hai stepped into it. Bus. As soon as he entered, he immediately saw a vast world. The fusion of the 6 Taoist immortal dome and the 30 immortal dome, the fusion of yin and yang. The entire earth was like the divine continent of the 6 Taoist immortal dome, while the starry sky was the cosmic space of the 30 immortal dome. As soon as Gu Hai stepped in, countless people immediately noticed him. His Holiness is back, His Holiness is back. Long live, long live, long live. Many people cheered. Countless experts of the 2 immortal domes all gathered in the infinite celestial capital. Wah wah wah. The cries of a group of babies were exceptionally bright and pleasing to the ears. It was Chen Xianer, Long Wanqing, Bingheim and Lin Wana, each holding a crying baby, accompanying the others as they waited for Gu Hai's arrival. Taiwa's and Zhang Yulian's eyes were red, full of excitement. Gu Taiji looked at his father's return with a trace of worship. When Gu Hai flew over, everyone revealed excited smiles. Roar. In the sky above the infinite celestial capital, endless fate energy surged. The surging fate energy was even more than that of the 6 immortal domes. Gu Hai killed 30 and saved 2 immortal domes. At this moment, all living beings bowed to Gu Hai and willingly admitted that they were Dahan's subjects. His holiness was the sky and fate energy was like the sea. The instant Gu Hai landed in the infinite celestial capital, countless golden dragons on the sea of fate energy instantly rushed to the various cities in the world and floated above them. The Dahan celestial empire was no longer as simple as a celestial empire. Standing in the infinite celestial capital, Gu Hai seemed to be able to sense everything in the world. Congratulations, Immortal, for conquering the world, Laozi said with a smile. Greetings, Immortal. Greetings, Immortal, may you live forever. Greetings, Immortal, may you live forever. The voices seemed to spread from the infinite celestial capital to the entire world. Everyone bowed to Gu Hai's return. This immortal domes belong to Gu Hai. Immortal? No, I'll never be an immortal. Gu Hai shook his head. Oh. Everyone revealed a curious expression. The world belongs to all living beings. No one can rule over anyone. Gu Hai shook his head. But? Everyone frowned. The ancient immortal domes can exist in the void for now. Although 30 is dead, no one knows how long the ancient immortal domes can exist. We haven't completely passed the danger yet. Gu Hai shook his head. But now, all living beings in the world love and respect you, Shakyamuni said with a smile. The world shouldn't belong to me alone. However, since everyone must make a distinction, how about I set up a holy court in the heavenly court? Gu Hai said solemnly. Holy court? Everyone was stunned. Since it's a holy court, then you're the holy king. The Dahan holy court will enjoy immortal blessings forever and live as long as the heavens. Fushi suddenly said. The Dahan holy court will enjoy immortal blessings forever and live as long as the heavens. Long live the holy king. Long live the holy king. Gu Hai was loved and respected by all living beings and established the Dahan holy court. 3 years later, the ancient immortal domes suddenly trembled. In the center of the universe, there was a place where blue light gathered. Gu Hai led everyone to check it out. They saw that there seemed to be great Tao condensing in the blue light area. What's this? Father, do you want me to open it? Gu Taiji asked anxiously. No, wait a little longer. Gu Hai frowned slightly. The blue light area was spherical and slowly approached the edge of the immortal domes. Slowly it flew out of the immortal domes. Rumble. After flying out of the immortal domes, it suddenly expanded in the void and gradually turned into an immortal dome that was one size smaller than the immortal dome. The so-called smaller immortal dome was not that small. It was about the size of the 6 pads immortal dome. This is? A new immortal dome? Gu Taiji revealed a look of surprise. Let's go. Gu Hai led everyone into the new immortal dome. In the new immortal dome there was chaos. Long Jianghu took out the sky-splitting axe and slashed fiercely. Boom. The chaos suddenly split into 2. Clear chi rose and turbid chi sank. Slowly, a new world was revealed. There are 3,000 great Tao here? Laozi revealed a look of surprise. This is an existence similar to the Six Paths Immortal Dome. Is this a new immortal dome? Fuxi widened his eyes in surprise. 30's immortal dome is pure yang, while the Six Paths Immortal Dome is pure yin. Yin and yang fuse and multiply endlessly. This is a child born in the ancient immortal dome? Gu Taiji said in surprise. 30's idea is correct. Jesus frowned in surprise. Yes, the combination of yin and yang can multiply and multiply. His idea is correct, but his method is wrong. Laozi solemnly said. Everyone nodded. This is the first. In the future there will be a second, third, and fourth? Gu Hai's eyes lit up. Everyone's eyes lit up slightly. Long Zhanghua, this immortal dome of chaos was created by you. This immortal dome is yours. You migrated some living beings and dead spirits from the immortal dome of chaos to this place. This place will be yours in the future. Gu Hai said. Long Zhanghua's eyes lit up and he nodded. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.